Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the Watif guy, back with another fanfiction. This is the first part of What If Issei Was Ultimate Dragon Emperor? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Orphis, it seems that it worked. We have finally reverted time. This is the same house before I met Rais and the others. Issei, this is my first time seeing this place, but it still looks peaceful. It's a pity for what we did, but I think the choice you made was the best because at least the Gremory family will be okay and alive. True, Orphis, but I don't think I should ever be close to any of them anymore. That doesn't mean you can't protect them. You have the records of my former comrades. With that, Issei, we can protect them together. We still have our powers. It shouldn't be too difficult. I know, Orphis, and I will protect them. But what will you do if they start to remember you? I mean Rais, Akino, Kaneko, Zenobia, Asia, and Irina. They all cherish you, Issei, along with your friend Kiba. What we need to do is protect them, but I have a bad feeling about this because Rais is still engaged to that arrogant Razor. I don't think the rest of her peerage will fight him for her freedom. I have to do something about it, Orphis. Save her. What? Issei, it was worth it to revert their lives. But remember what the Time Dragon said about faith and destiny. Rais could accept Razor as her husband. But if she doesn't, then we are obliged to save her, given that you did it in the past for her. For now, Issei, we rest because you need to be at Jew Academy tomorrow. Right, in that case I take my leave, Orphis. Sleep tight. Goodbye, Issei. In Issei's room. Drake, are you awake? Yes, Issei, I am here by your side. If you do as Orphis said, then I will back you up. Even if you are discovered with Orphis, the three factions can't stop you because I know she will support you against those who imprison me in this sacred gear. Let's see how it goes tomorrow at school. Later, Drake. Good night. I'm off to bed now. Sleep tight. Later. Next day. Alarm goes off, 6 a.m. That felt great. I haven't slept alone in a long time because usually Rais and Asia are next to me, but I really miss them. In the kitchen, good morning, Mother and Father. Morning, Issei. Here's your lunch. Thanks, Mother. Issei POV. To think Rais used to make my lunch and supper. I really love her, but as things stand, they don't know me, and I need to pretend I don't know them. Hopefully they don't sense my power. I have to keep it low. On the way to school, Orphis. Issei, do well today. Just keep your distance from them and observe what they are doing, okay? Okay, Orphis. You're a true friend. I made this for you to wear from now on. What is it? It's a red cloak with a hood to represent yourself as the Red Dragon Emperor. It has the sigil of your family. Family? I see you as Great Red Sun after all because your body isn't human, it's pure dragon. I understand, Orphis. It's actually strange that a god like him is my father. At school, wow, Issei, you look different. Different? What do you mean, Matsuda and Motohama? We're referring to your body. Oh, well, I have been working out a lot. There's absolutely no way they will ever believe me if I tell them where I got this body from. School finally commences, and I was thinking about the club room. I hope they don't confront me too soon as they notice my aura, but I can't keep it low because I am too strong. Chapter end. It has been weeks since Orphis and I reverted time, and the Gremory group hasn't sensed me yet. Even the Citri haven't noticed me, but I found out that Razor has 2 new pawns now. They are called the Dragon Brothers. It's strange, but Razor has taken a strong interest in dragons. I feel terrible for not being by her side, but I trust Akino and Kiba in the meantime. The engagement is coming up, so I have to do something before she has to marry that foolish high-class devil, Razor Phoenix. Rais POV. I, Rais Gremory, will soon be married to a man for whom I have no feelings. Yet, something feels missing in my life, and I feel like I've experienced this feeling before, but I just don't know what or who it is. My peerage and I noticed a boy with brown hair who has an aura that doesn't seem human. I sensed that he was hiding his presence as a devil, yet he is very calm while being in the same school as ours, given that there are 14 devils excluding the brown-haired boy. Perhaps he doesn't know he's a devil, but it feels strange, as if I know him when I look at him. In 2 weeks, My entire life will be altered due to my brother and father's plan for me to marry Razor. Normal POV. Hi, Rais Bucho. Good day, Aquino. How are you feeling today? A bit better than yesterday, and yes, I have something to ask you, Rais. What is it, Aquino? It's regarding the brown-haired boy. If the brown-haired boy is a devil, can I have him? Have him? I think I am in love with him, Rais. In love? Are you serious, Aquino? I don't know what happened, but ever since I saw him, I fell in love. It feels as if I know him. Well, Aquino, I'll ask Kaneko to watch him. Perhaps we will know soon enough what he is. Issei POV. What? It's been so stressful. I forgot how bad I am at doing my homework, and now that I have no more friends to help me, I feel a bit lonely despite having Orphis. But she helps me train. As I walk down the corridor, I bump into a girl, and I'm surprised when her books fall to the ground. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. She blushes as I say that. Let me help you. I didn't see you there. Thanks. By the way, I didn't get your name. Oh no. My name is Hayudu Issei, and I'm sorry again. And my name is Aquino Himejima. I left after that incident to class. I wonder if she remembers something about me. She was smiling at me. I guess she probably won't tell Rais about what happened in the corridor. Aquino POV. I couldn't believe it. He's no devil, and if I ask Rais, he will definitely be mine. We can reincarnate him into a devil. I better speak to Rais. Occult Research Club. Absolutely not, Aquino. We have no idea what his power will be like, but I don't understand why you would want him. Since when do you fall for boys? You remember you told me they are all the same. Besides, we have two talented pawns, Jean and Rox. Okay, Rais, I understand. Maybe you should meet him for yourself. Maybe? I will, since you're in love with him. Issei's point of view. It's been an hour since I bumped into Aquino. I wonder what she told her president. Later that day, as I was walking home, I noticed a stray devil emerging from the warehouse. I decided to observe it. I activated drag and dashed forward, using my balance breaker. Quickly subdued the stray devil and finished it off with a powerful dragon blast that caused a massive explosion, destroying the warehouse. I left, knowing that the Citri and Gremory peerages would be arriving soon. Rais, is something wrong? Yes, Sona. I felt a powerful aura just now, and I wonder whose power it was, but it disappeared. I felt it too. Alright, Rais, it's okay. We'll take it from here. Okay, thanks, Sona. Occult Research Club. Bucho, what was that back there? I really don't know, Jean, but it was very powerful, and its aura was incredible. I would actually want that power in my peerage as a beginner, Jean said. Just then, someone teleported in front of us. It was Greyfield. Hello, everyone. Greyfield-sama. What are you doing here? Your engagement to Razor must continue, as I was instructed by my master, who is your brother. Razor is coming here now, Rais. What for? Just prepare yourself for the worst. Soon, another person teleported in, and he looked very pleased to see Rais. It was Razor. It's been years since I visited the human world. I missed you, Rais. My darling Riesu. Greyfield then informed us that Razor is Rais's fiancé and the heir to the Phoenix clan, just as she is the heir of her clan. Well, Riesu, the queen's tea is always excellently brewed, Aquino said. Please leave me alone, Razor. I have told you many times before, I have no intention of marrying you. But, Riesu, I doubt your family will be able to cater to your selfish ways forever. I do not wish to destroy your family. On the contrary, I welcome them with open arms. But whom I marry is my choice. Pure-blooded devils drastically decreased in numbers after the last war, and that is a problem that affects all devils. Your father and Lord Surzex thought this over thoroughly when they made the decision about our engagement. My father, brother, and everyone in my family. They are too panicked. I will not say this again, Razor. I will never marry you. Listen, Riesu, I am the poster child of the Phoenix clan. I cannot allow myself to lose face. Razor tightened his grip on her arm. Even if it means burning all your pawns to a crisp, I will take you back to hell with me, Jean said. Please stop this at once, Greyfield interjected. Mistress, Razor, I am here on orders from Sir Zexama. I will not let anything happen for his sake. For his prized queen to say that. You have even me scared with that little speech. He foresaw that this would happen. Rais and Razor, would you like to settle this in a rating game? You are certain to lose to me, Rais, if you accept to fight me in a rating game. I'll take my chances against you, Razor. Soon, someone with a powerful aura approached the Occult Research Club. Everyone looked toward the door, waiting for this person. Riesu, my dear, who else is coming here? I don't know who else is coming. I asked for no one else to be present here. The door opened. Hi, everyone. Everyone was shocked at who it was, the boy they had sensed something strange about. And now, is there something wrong that everyone is looking at me? I looked at everyone and saw Asia. She looked startled when she saw me. Razor glared at me as if he wanted to attack, but then Greyfield said, "Stop." Rais was still in shock as she looked at me. Greyfield turned to me. Who are you and what do you want here? We are in the middle of something. Who I am isn't your concern. Besides, I am here on business regarding you, Razor. Who, me? I have come here to challenge you, and if you are defeated by me, you will let Rais live her life as she wishes, and your engagement will end. Everyone was shocked at what I said. Their eyes were wide open. Do you know this boy, Rais? No, I don't know him, Rais said, looking sad. Razor, I'm serious. If you are man enough to fight me. Razor laughed. I accept. What's your name, stupid low-class devil? My name is Hayadu Issei. Please call me Razor Phoenix. We fight at your engagement party, Razor, and I look forward to a great fight. Lady Lucifer, please ask Lord Surzex if he accepts this fight. Greyfield said okay. She would ask him. I don't know where you came from, but do you even have a master, you pathetic devil? Because when I am done with you, I will prove myself to you, Rais, that I can protect you. I have no master. I am a neutral pawn with 8 pawns in my body. First time I see a neutral pawn, Greyfield said. Everyone's eyes widened when they heard what I said. I then looked at Rais. It's going to be okay, it's going to be fine. I take my leave now. I'll see you in 10 days, Razor. I left, and everyone still looked in shock at what had just happened. Anyway, I am going home for a little training to prepare myself against Razor. We fight in 10 days. Chapter End. Issei's room. Partner, you seem ready for Razor? Of course, Drake. I am not scared of him, remember? I am much stronger than before, and Orphis is guiding me toward the fight. Issei, I wonder what they thought of your approach. I think it was unwise of me to address Greyfield as I did, especially since she has always been kind to me. I understand your feelings, Issei, but what do you intend to do once Rais and the rest of her peerage come asking questions about you? I won't reveal what really happened with us reverting time. Soon, someone teleported in front of Issei, causing him to widen his eyes. Orphis! Issei exclaimed. What are you doing here, my friend? Orphis didn't answer immediately. She looked at Issei with her emotionally cold eyes. I came to ask something of you, she finally said. What is it, Orphis? Issei asked, still in disbelief. I have been invited to be the leader of the Khaos Brigade. What? Are you serious, Orphis? After everything they did to you, you still want to join them? They stole your powers, remember? Issei's eyes widened as he spoke. I know, Sid. That's why I came to ask you something. Issei continued to look at Orphis, still in disbelief. I know I will be in danger, Issei, but listen to what I have to say. I am going to be the supreme leader, and you will be the leader of the Khaos Brigade. Issei was shocked by Orphis's words, but he knew she was very intelligent. Then he said something she didn't expect. I think you are very smart, Orphis. Orphis was taken aback by his compliment. She looked at him as he hugged her. With your plan, we can stop the Khaos Brigade from the inside. Yes, Issei, that's exactly my. Then we can protect Rais and the others from within. But Orphis, I don't understand why you want to make me a leader in the Khaos Brigade when there are so many stronger devils who have inherited the previous government powers. Because I trust you, Issei, with my life. So do I, Orphis. But if I am to be a leader of such a powerful faction, I want a long red coat that represents the Red Dragon Emperor, not the one you gave me before. I want something I can fight in. The other one I will cherish safely. What do you think, Drake? Issei asked. I think it's the best way, Issei. I agree. Great Red knows about it already, Issei. He approved it and said you would accept it as well. He did. Don't sound so surprised. He's your father now, remember? Ever since you lost your body, you are a pure dragon like him. With my infinite powers, you could become a powerful entity like me and him. Very true, but Orphis, I want you to train me to use those powers because I don't want the people of the underworld to know I am the Welsh dragon. No offense, Drake. It's okay, I understand what you're trying to say, Issei. Very well, Issei. We will train, and I will teach you your true powers. How much time do we have until the engagement? 10 days. Oh yes, Issei? Yes, Orphis. Your father is coming to see your fight just in case something happens. Issei was shocked but said okay. Issei, he's going to transform into an older man who will look similar to you. Nice. It will be perfect for him to see my Rais. Let's go to this Khaos Brigade Council to see if they will approve of us. Cult Research Club. Jean Kuros POV. I don't know what to say to Bucho, but she must be scared seeing that Lord Surzex has accepted that fight against that arrogant devil who interrupted us here. I agree with what he is doing because I don't want to see Bucho sad, and I don't even have the courage to confront Razor Phoenix. But I will be Bucho's greatest pawn that the underworld has ever seen. I will also take on Issei if I have to and then give Razor a beating of his life, even if he is a phoenix. I am a dragon holder, after all. I know I can do it, and Lord Surzex has chosen my younger brother and me to protect Bucho. Rais Gremory's POV. That boy is putting his life on the line for my freedom, but I hope he doesn't get hurt because there's no way he could defeat Razor. Razor is the immortal bird, and he can't be killed. So I hope that if Razor does defeat Issei, I can stop him before Razor finishes him off. Yet he has a powerful aura and would have made a perfect pawn. He's cute too, but when I saw him, my heart nearly stopped because I felt as if we had met before. And he was so confident that he could save me. Aquino looked sad, seeing that he is a devil. Suddenly, a portal appeared in front of Rais and the rest of her peerage. Their eyes widened as they saw the symbol of red and crimson revealing Issei. You have the nerve to come back here, Jean said, glaring at Issei, who laughed in response. You dare laugh at me? Get out of my way, pawn of Rais Gremory. I am here to speak to your master. Issei took out his red coat and placed it over himself, revealing the attire of the Red Dragon God Emperor. Did Lord Surzex accept my offer and your release from the wedding? Rais looked at Issei with cold eyes, wanting to cry until Aquino confirmed that he accepted it. I take my leave then. See you all in 9 days. Just as Issei stepped through the portal, Rais shouted as if they were familiar with each other, tears streaming down her face as he left. She called for him to wait. Aquino asked, You know him, Rais? Because you looked at him as if you did. No, I don't, Aquino. 9 days later. Issei's room. I still can't believe that I am the leader of the Khaos Brigade. Remember, Issei, that it's all just a facade to protect your comrades, Great Red said. Orphis walked in. It's almost time, Issei. You are much more powerful than before. Thanks to those Khaos Brigade missions. Despite them being dangerous, I actually liked them. And thank you, Orphis, for helping me and your father. Thanks, son. He called me Father Orphis. Let's go to the engagement, son. At the engagement at Phoenix Castle, everyone anticipated a confrontation as Razor prepared to face a devil unknown to them from the underworld. Rais and Razor had announced their engagement, contingent upon Razor's victory, but Rais felt a deep sadness at the thought of marrying after Issei's defeat. She had almost lost hope that he would return, and her peerage shared her concern, especially Jean and Aquino. As the crowd of devils sensed an immense power approaching, They instinctively took battle stances. For figures appeared, cloaked in red, their hoods obscuring their faces. The devils at Phoenix Castle gasped, their eyes widening at the overwhelming aura emanating from the newcomers. Even Lord Surzex felt uncertain about confronting them. When the figures revealed their faces, shock rippled through the crowd. Issei stepped forward, and the devils trembled at his presence. They quickly deduced that the most powerful among them was Issei, realizing he must be the son of the imposing figure beside him. Issei's father, Great Red, boomed, "Razor Phoenix, do you still wish to fight my son?" Razor's expression faltered as he recognized the vast difference in their power. "Yes, I still do," he replied, though his voice wavered. The Occult Research Club was stunned by Issei's newfound strength, having never witnessed such a divine aura from him before. Rais was taken aback, realizing that this godlike figure had come to save her. Their eyes met, and she quickly looked away, her cheeks flushed. "What is it that you desire, Hayadu Issei?" Lord Surzex asked, the other devils silent and fearful of provoking the powerful entity. Issei smiled at his father, who leaned in to whisper something. The devils remained tense, unsure of how to react. "I request that Rais Gremory be released from this engagement, Lord Surzex." "For her freedom." Rais felt tears welling up as Issei reassured her that everything would be all right. "I owe you my life. If it weren't for you, I would never have met any of the supernatural beings, including Orphis and my father." In an instant, Issei and Razor were transported to a secluded area. Razor powered up, charging at Issei, who stood calmly, while Great Red laughed, his voice echoing ominously. "This will be a slaughter," he declared, leaving the crowd in shock. "A magical." Communication from Great Red reached Issei. "Yes, I heard what you said about Razor. Do you think I will remove his existence from this world?" "Yes, eliminate him. Strike that pathetic being down," Great Red insisted. "No, I intend to give him a chance to win his future wife." "I won't kill him," Issei replied firmly. "Fine, I take my leave then. Fighting a low being like him isn't worth your time." With that, Great Red departed. The crowd was left in disbelief, having overheard the entire exchange. Razor, now furious, charged at Issei in his phoenix form, launching a flurry of attacks. A brilliant light erupted from Razor's strongest strike, forcing the other devils to shield their eyes. Yet, when the light faded, Issei remained standing, untouched. With a swift motion, he flicked his finger, sending a blast that knocked Razor out cold. Issei emerged victorious. He picked Razor up and brought him back to his family, still clad in his red coat. The onlookers were astonished that such a quick and powerful strike had taken down the phoenix. "It was so fast, such power," Lord Surzex remarked. Rais, realizing she was finally free from Razor, felt a surge of joy and wanted to embrace Issei, but before she could, he turned to address the crowd. "I take it you noble devil lords weren't satisfied with what you just witnessed? I think I overpowered that shot," he said, observing their stunned expressions. "I'll be leaving now. Thanks for the fun," he added, turning away. Rais felt a pang of sadness as she watched her hero depart without speaking to her. Tears of happiness streamed down her face, and she resolved to confront him at school as soon as possible. Back at the Khaos Brigade base, Orphis praised Issei, "You did very well." "I really wanted to see the Phoenix defeated," Great Red commented. "Thank you for helping me unlock these new powers. They will come in handy," Issei replied. "I'm going on a quick mission with the other members of the Khaos Brigade," he announced. "Issei?" Orphis asked. "Yes, Vale has joined the Khaos Brigade today." "Nice. I'll speak with him soon, but I'll see you all later." Issei moved on, unfazed by Vale's joining, aware that as the leader of the faction, Vale would need to show him respect. Days passed since Issei's victory over Razor, and his life had changed significantly. Now the leader of the Khaos Brigade, with Orphis as his supreme leader, Issei navigated a new reality. He found himself working alongside former adversaries like Shalba Beelzebub and Cruisery Asmodeus. Despite their past, Issei grew to appreciate their company over the 2 weeks he had been there, relishing the camaraderie even among those once deemed evil. He and Orphis stood as the strongest in the faction, their power well recognized by all. Even Valley was stunned by Issei, realizing there was another powerful entity in the world of the supernatural and the gods. After dismissing everyone from the meeting, Issei asked Valley to wait. Valley's eyes widened in surprise at the sound of his name. "Is there anything I can do for you?" Valley asked. Issei gestured to a chair. "Have a seat." "Valley, right?" "Yes, that's my name." Issei smiled at him. "I know you're the wielder of Albion." Valley was taken aback by Issei's directness. "Albion must have told you by now that I am the Red Dragon Emperor." "Yes, but how did you know, and how are you this strong?" "Don't be intimidated by me yet, Valley Lucifer." Valley was even more shocked. "We are on the same side and serve the Khaos Brigade well. I am at School Academy, Valley. If you need anything, it's nice to see you wearing the red dragon symbol with pride." "Thanks for the offer." "Yes, we were all told to wear it. When you come, look for me, Valley, and wear that red coat." "Okay, later, Valley." With that, Issei teleported home. It had been 3 days since he defeated the Phoenix, and he was still unconscious from the energy beam he had unleashed, with Orphis and Great Red assisting him during their training. School was tomorrow, and he knew the Occult Research Club and the Student Council would have questions for him. He prepared for the worst as he went to sleep, contemplating whether he would refuse to speak to them. However, thoughts of seeing Rais Gremory again lingered in his mind as he drifted off. At School Academy, Issei sat in class, thinking about the members of the Occult Research Club. He knew Rais would send for him, but after much contemplation the previous night, he decided he would decline if they approached him. He glanced at his friends Matsuda and Motohama, who were engrossed in pictures of women. Despite their antics, Issei missed the love of his life, Rais Gremory. As school commenced, Issei noticed Akino approaching him during break. Akino felt a twinge of fear as she neared him, remembering the power he had displayed against Razor. Rias's POV. "I hope Akino can convince Issei to join the Occult Research Club. I have so many questions for him, especially about why he saved me from my engagement. His power is remarkable, and if I recall correctly, he mentioned he didn't have a master. I should ask him if he would be interested in being my pawn. He could be an invaluable asset to the Gremory household. However, I don't remember him mentioning a father, and the power his father possesses seems to exceed even my brother's. I wonder who they really are, especially since they wore red coats and were accompanied by 2 men whose strength surpasses mine. I doubt my peerage and I could defeat them, let alone Issei's powerful father, who remains unknown in the supernatural world. What I do know is that Issei was my knight in shining armor, my savior who defeated Razor effortlessly. I hope Akino brings Issei to me, and perhaps if he agrees to be my pawn, I could have 3. I just need to ask my brother for 8 pieces to trade for Issei, but then again, my brother would likely want to meet him, especially since Razor hasn't woken up. It's astonishing to think that Razor was defeated by a mere blast from Issei's finger. Please, Issei Hayadu, I need to speak with you. Normal POV. Excuse me, Issei, I have something to tell you, Akino said, glancing away from his face. Yes. What can I do for my senior today? Wait, let me guess. Rais Gremory sent you here to ask me to join the Occult Research Club for a chat. Akino looked at him. Please, Issei. I take it you knew we would ask for you. Rais just wants to ask you some questions. Tell Rais, Issei replied, his tone sharper than intended, causing Akino to flinch. What's the point in me going there if your master already has her freedom now? Akino trembled. Oh no, I think I might be overdoing this. It's something Great Red would say to people like Akino. No, I apologize, Akino. Please forgive me and take me to Rais. Akino was still shaken but instead ran off in fear of how Issei had spoken to her. Issei felt regret for his tone and began walking toward the clubhouse where Akino had fled. Occult Research Club. Akino, what happened? Rais asked, noticing Akino's distress. Issei sounded like he wanted to hurt me. I'm so scared, Rais. Akino cried, tears streaming down her face. Rais embraced her best friend, trying to wipe away her tears, when they sensed Issei approaching. Rais, he's coming to get us, Aquino said, preparing herself for a confrontation. Nonsense, Aquino. I highly doubt Issei will attack us. Remember, he saved me. Rais wasn't entirely sure, but she waited for him to enter. Good morning, President Rais Gremory. Issei greeted them, his presence commanding attention. Aquino, he said, making her feel uneasy. Aquino, please look at me. I didn't mean to upset you with the way I spoke. I just had no intention of coming, Issei said, glancing at Rais, who was watching him closely. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Aquino. Aquino quickly rushed to the resting room, leaving just Issei and Rais. So you didn't want to come here, right? May I ask why? Why did you save me from Razor? You never wanted to marry him, and I was attending this school at the time. I could sense you weren't happy with him as your fiancé, so I decided to make your life easier by defeating him for you. After all, you are the president of the club. Well then, thank you, Issei Hayadu, for saving me, but I have to tell you something. Issei turned his face toward hers. Issei Hayu, my brother Lord Surzex would like to speak to you about how you stopped Razor Phoenix and the way you hurt him. Is that so? Rais, please call me Issei. I understand he is still in a coma, right? Yes, he was hurt very badly, but what I don't understand is that he is a phoenix, and he hasn't recovered yet. How powerful are you, Issei? Powerful enough. Tell me, Issei, are you interested in joining my peerage? Don't take this the wrong way, Rais, but no, I don't wish to join the Gremory household. I am busy with other important matters at the moment. My Khaos Brigade. I need to keep everyone there in check for what they had done in the past to me and the Gremory group. Rais felt a bit down due to Issei declining her offer, as she had never been rejected before. Rais immediately responded, Yes, Issei? Where is Razor Phoenix at the moment? At the Phoenix household, his family is there with him. Rais noticed Issei smile at her words. Okay then, thanks, Rais, for telling me because I am going right now to pay him a visit. What? Issei, you're just going to make his family mad after what you did to him. I am going to wake him up. Why don't you come with me to help? After all, you at least owe him this. Okay, but that would be a bit strange since I rejected their son. Don't worry, Rais, if they try something I will protect you. Rais's face turned red. What are you waiting for, Issei? Just waiting for escorts to help us when we get there. I take it you're going to talk to the Phoenix parents? Yes, I will try. Just as we were waiting, two men in red robes arrived, and Issei smiled as they handed him a red robe as well. Their power exceeded many of the Devil Kings from different groups I had encountered before, and they weren't the ones who were at the engagement party. I then turned to him. Issei, who are these powerful men? Our escorts, Rais Gremory. Are you ready? Yes. They arrived in front of the Phoenix house, where Issei gave orders to the men. No fighting, he said, and they both bowed their heads to him. I really wondered what he truly was. Then suddenly, another magic circle appeared behind Issei and his men. As they looked on, he knew who it was. So you decided to come, my senior, Aquino said, looking at Issei. Aquino, I am very sorry, please forgive me. I won't forgive you for the way you spoke to me. Aquino turned to look at Rais. How can I make it up to you, Aquino? I will do anything you want me to do. Anything. Both girls were blushing now as Issei tried to hide his face. Anything, Aquino said, gazing at him, falling in love with him all over again. Rais shot Aquino a disapproving look as Aquino smiled. Even if it's a date, Issei? Aquino was blushing, her face as red as Rais's hair when she said that to Issei. Yes, I accept a date with you then. Aquino was overjoyed when Issei accepted her offer. He turned to Rais, who looked upset about what had just happened, but Issei knew Rais would get angry, given that he and Rais still shared feelings for each other. Rais walked on and knocked on the door, which was opened by the Phoenix servants. They walked toward Razor Phoenix's room. Suddenly, they were stopped by the head of the Phoenix clan, Razor's father. He looked at Issei and his men, who returned his gaze. Issei immediately stepped forward, bowing his head in respect to the family. I have come to wake your son from his coma. I am truly sorry for how the fight ended. No, you won't do anything to my son. Get out of my house, the head of the Phoenix clan said to Issei. You know, Mr. Phoenix, my father wanted me to kill your son. What I did to him was still mercy. The head of the Phoenix clan felt a powerful force emanating from Issei's aura. Issei, Rais said. Don't worry about it, Rais. If you don't want to die, you better let me through to your son because I owe him at least that much to help him out of his deep slumber. Everyone except Issei's troops widened their eyes at his boldness. You still will not be permitted through to his bedroom. You may enter then. Please wake him up. Issei looked at the head of the Phoenix family and his wife, who was shocked that Issei had come here after causing Razor to fall into a coma. Issei placed his hand on the head of the Phoenix's shoulder and reassured him, "Don't worry, he will wake up when I am by his side." Issei glanced at his men and noticed Razor's peerage was uneasy around the two men in red coats. "Please wait outside while I help the Phoenix clan." "Yes, master." Rias's eyes widened as she heard what the men in red said. Issei walked into the room, where Ravel Phoenix was at her brother's side, her heart racing with fear as she saw Issei, the one who had hurt her brother so badly. Before Ravel could speak to Issei, her father called her, and everyone from the Phoenix clan entered the room, all eyes on Issei as he placed his hand on Razor's head and then trailed it to his heart. Everyone in the room gasped as they saw a crimson light emanating from Razor as Issei channeled life back into him. Razor began to stir as he remained in a deep sleep. "He's okay, everyone. He's just sleeping. Please don't thank me, members of the Phoenix clan. I did this because I hurt him very badly, and I didn't know if he would survive my blast. But I will take my leave now, so it's up to you all if you tell him who woke him up." Everyone was looking at Issei as he just saved Razor. Issei was about to walk away when his escorts approached him. "Is there a problem, my lord?" "My lord, your father wants you back in the throne room. Tell him I am currently saving someone. My lord, Valley is also looking for you as he is challenging your father. I can sense Vala's power from here. It seems he is in Juggernaut Drive. Still, I doubt the White Dragon Emperor will defeat your father. After all, your family is the greatest in the universe. Please go help Vala. Get him away from my father before something terrible happens." Everyone in the room was shocked by Issei's words as his escorts teleported away. They were especially surprised to hear him mention the White Dragon Emperor. He then walked over to Aquino and Rais, informing them that he was leaving. They nodded in response and said their goodbyes as Issei stood outside, waiting for them. "So, where are you going now, Issei?" Rais asked, eager for his response. "Back to your clubhouse if that's okay with you," Issei smiled at her. "Okay then, Issei." They immediately teleported back, and everyone else in the clubhouse was astonished to see Issei with them, especially Jin Kuro. He looked at Issei and then back at Rais. "Bucho, what's the meaning of this?" "We went with him to heal Razor. He's okay now." Jin just stared at Issei as he brushed off some dust from his royal robe. Suddenly, Issei and the two girls noticed two other girls dressed in white. "Irina, is that you?" Issei recognized one of the girls immediately. "Issei-kun, is that really you?" Irina ran to Issei, and he welcomed her into his arms. Everyone watched in surprise. The girl in blue turned to Irina and asked, "How do you know this man, Irina?" "Why, Zenobia, he's the boy I told you about, my childhood friend." Everyone was shocked by Irina's revelation as she looked at Issei. "Well, sorry to interrupt, Irina, but we are here on business. We are servants of God, here to speak to you, Rais Gremory." Rais looked at Zenobia and then took a seat opposite her. "Well then, for what reason would servants of God desire to meet a devil?" Rais asked Zenobia. Irina explained, "The 6 remaining Excaliburs have been kept by 3 divisions of the church, but 3 of those have been stolen by fallen angels." Everyone's eyes widened, except for Issei, who already knew who was responsible. Zenobia displayed one of the swords, saying, "This is the holy sword of destruction, Excalibur Destruction. And mine is the holy sword of mimicry, Excalibur Mimic." Irina added, Rais looked at them. So, what do you want from us? Zenobia replied, this particular problem is between us and the fallen angels. We can't afford to deal with the devils of this city. Rais said, you're awfully condescending. You thought we would side with the fallen angels to do something about the holy swords. Zenobia raised an eyebrow. Devils despise holy swords. You're in the same position as the fallen angels. Rais's eyes began to glow red as she glared at Zenobia. If we must, we will completely destroy you, even if you are the sister of a Satan. Rais then looked at Issei and back to Zenobia. If you know that much already, then let me tell you something else. I will never side with a fallen angel. In the name of the Gremories, I swear I will never do anything to humiliate the Satans. Zenobia appeared pleased. I am glad to hear that. That was just what our headquarters were after. I am sure the sister of a Satan would not be so foolish. Then you must know that I won't side with you and your god, correct? Rais asked. Of course. We simply would like you to pledge non-intervention in this ordeal. Rais smiled. Understood. Zenobia and Irina stood up. Thank you for your time. Rais then offered them tea. I am sorry, but we cannot befriend devils. We shall take our leave now. As they walked away, Zenobia glanced at Asia. I have been wondering since I saw you before. Are you Asia Argento? Asia felt nervous but managed to respond, yes. Zenobia then said, I never thought I would see a witch here. Asia began to tremble, tears welling up in her eyes. Irina remarked, oh, you're that ex-nun who became a witch? I heard you were exiled because you could even heal devils and fallen angels, but I never knew you'd become a devil. Asia's tears began to fall. Zenobia added, to think that a saint has become a devil. Nobody's perfect, I suppose. Issei stepped forward. Who are you to talk about, Asia? Everyone turned to look at Issei. Zenobia responded, do you want to die, devil? Issei laughed at Zenobia. If only I could. Why don't I challenge the two of you since you hurt Asia? Everyone stared at Issei, who wore a smile. Remember, Zenobia, you were the ones who started calling her a saint. Asia was always alone. Forget faith in God. You all are foolish for not understanding Asia's kindness. Zenobia looked at Issei. What are you to Asia? Her friend, an ally. If you do anything to Asia, Zenobia and Irina, I will only say this once. Your God won't save you if you hurt Asia, and you will certainly regret fighting me for real. Both girls felt a chill at Issei's words. Irina said, really, Issei? I am not part of President Rais's group, but I will let you suffer by my hands. Zenobia looked at Issei. Let's have our sparring match then. Okay then, Rais, where's Kiba? He's not been himself lately. Okay then, 2 versus 1. I hope you girls are strong. Outside the clubhouse, before the match began, Issei set up a powerful force field barrier as he stood there, looking at the girls who were ready to fight him. Immediately, Zenobia and Irina charged at Issei, but he stood his ground, glancing at the members of the Occult Research Club. Issei, watch out! Rais screamed as Issei stopped both Irina and Zenovia's swords, using his force to push them down. Everyone was shocked when Issei managed to stop the sword with his hand, but Rais began to cry. Seeing her tears, Issei felt a rush of concern as she immediately ran up to the clubhouse. Issei, leave your girlfriend, Zenobia said. Focus on our fight. Rais isn't my girlfriend. I don't know what happened to her, Issei replied, his voice filled with confusion. Issei, tell me how you stopped our swords, Zenobia demanded. I am half dragon and half devil, Issei explained. The revelation caused everyone's eyes to widen. Zenobia and Irina, realizing they had been bested, surrendered as Issei pushed both girls down gently. They approached him cautiously. Stay safe, Zenobia and Irina. I will try to help you against the fallen angels, Issei said earnestly. Same to you, Issei. We look forward to your support, especially since you're a stray devil, Zenobia replied. Okay, later then. Issei said as he dashed up to the clubhouse to Rais's side. She was still crying. Rais, why are you crying? He asked softly. Rais looked up at him with her blue eyes, filled with emotion. Issei, I don't know. What you did back there was really dangerous, and yet you still took a gamble with your life, she said, her tears flowing freely. Issei wrapped his arms around her, providing comfort as she leaned into him, allowing herself to cry. After a while, Issei decided to take Rais to his house. He placed her gently in the spare room where she soon fell asleep. As he left her side, he kissed her forehead tenderly before heading to his own room. His mother noticed and asked about the girl, but Issei simply told his parents that she was a friend going through an emotional time, and he was just helping her rest. He reminisced about the times when his house was filled with Rais and her friends, and how he and Rais had once been engaged. Issei pondered what Rais would think if she knew he was the leader of the Khaos Brigade. He had managed to keep all his members in line, having identified the true enemy, not the new Mao government, but the hero faction. He confirmed that Vala's grandfather was involved, along with Greyfield, Lucifer's younger brother, and rumors of many evil dragons joining their ranks. As it grew late, Issei left Rais in his house and went to his base where secret meetings were held. For once, everyone was enjoying each other's company. Issei addressed his fellow Khaos Brigade members, promising to protect each of them. Surprisingly, he began to see even his rivals, like Vala Lucifer, as friends, having chosen a different path and becoming stronger than ever. He continued his training with Great Red and Orphis, striving to grow even more powerful. Issei spoke to Vala, who informed him that the fallen angels were closing in on his operations in the north. Issei asked for Vala's assistance against Kokobio, which Vala agreed to, recognizing Issei as the leader of the Khaos Brigade. Issei teleported back home, noting the time was only 5:25 a.m. He decided to rest until 6 a.m. In his room, Issei felt a heaviness as he tried to move in his sleep. He looked down to see Rais sleeping with her head against his shoulder. Carefully, he adjusted his arm to cradle her head comfortably, allowing them both to rest peacefully. Actually, this goes back to when Issei first found Rais in his bed, but now he just let her sleep, having decided against any of his usual antics. "Good morning, Rais." Issei greeted her with a smile. Rais looked shocked at him. "What time did you climb into my bed?" he asked, noticing her cheeks turning red. "Never mind, Rais. You don't have to answer that question. I can see you enjoyed your sleep here at my place," he said, trying to ease her embarrassment. "Thanks for taking care of me, Issei. I'm really sorry about what happened yesterday at the clubhouse. I was scared after you put yourself in harm's way to stop the swords," Rais admitted, her voice trembling slightly. Issei looked at her and smiled, ready to share something unexpected, especially considering she was in his bed. "Yes, and I understand your feelings," he said, his tone serious. Rais blushed, thinking he had figured out her emotions, but Issei continued, "To protect others." This was part of his plan to see how things would unfold between her and Aquino, both of whom had feelings for him. In the kitchen, Issei's mother greeted Rais. "Ah, you must be Rais Gremory. I'm Issei's mother, and that's Issei's father." Rais glanced at Issei's father, who looked different from the man she remembered from the engagement party, wearing a long red coat like Issei. "Issei, she is very beautiful. Why don't you ask her to be your girlfriend?" his mother suggested, causing both Issei and Rais to blush heavily at the unexpected comment. They soon finished breakfast and headed to school. "Issei, can I ask you a question?" Rais inquired. "Sure, go ahead," he replied. "What's so significant about the color red to you? And why do the other guys wear it too, like it's a uniform?" "Can we skip this question? You might not believe me if I told you," Issei said, avoiding her gaze. "Don't worry, we'll have all the time in the world, Rais," he added, suddenly stopping to reassure her. "If you ever need help with something or someone, just give me a call." "Issei, I would really appreciate your help, especially seeing how strong and brave you are to stop even holy swords with your bare hands," Rais said, her cheeks flushing. Issei leaned down and kissed her on the forehead, causing her to blush even more. "I hope that keeps you satisfied," he said playfully. Rais squealed in surprise, but Issei quickly grabbed her arms, promising to protect her. She wanted to kiss him too, but he looked away as he held her hand. Rais, you know we shouldn't be together? He said, looking serious. Rais was confused. She thought he understood her feelings for him. Why would you say that, Issei? I really admire your bravery, especially against Razor Phoenix, she replied, squeezing his hand tighter. Rais, I'm a dangerous person. You saw what I'm capable of, and I have many enemies. If they found out about you, they would come after you, and I could never forgive myself if you got hurt because of me. Rais looked at him, understanding that he truly cared for her, and she hugged him tightly. We can handle them together, she said, and Issei smiled at her. Eventually, they went their separate ways to their classes. After school, Rais invited Issei to the clubhouse. He remembered he still owed Akino a date. On his way, he received a call from Valet, confirming that Kokobile would attack that night. Issei asked Valet to deal with him while he helped Rais and Asia. As he approached the clubhouse, Rais called him. He opened the door to find the Occult Research Club looking anxious. What's wrong, everyone? Any problems? He asked. Jean looked at him, clearly worried about facing one of the leaders of the fallen angels. Turning to Rais and Akino, he said, I hope you haven't forgotten our arrangement. Of course not, Akino. I'm a man of my word. We'll go once things here are safe, he assured her, though he could see the worry etched on her face. Rais, you summoned me? He asked, noticing her fear. Just then, the door opened, and the student council entered to help the Gremory group. Sona nodded at him, and he bowed his head in respect. Irina and Zenobia looked uneasy, knowing they were about to face Kokobile, especially since the Time Dragon had warned that many of Issei's past foes would be stronger. Suddenly, Rais pulled him close, her eyes glistening with tears. I don't want to die, Issei. My group and Sona's group are going to fight a very powerful fallen angel who survived fighting a god, Kokobile. We need to hold him back for 20 minutes until my brother's reinforcements arrive. Please, I'm going to miss you, Issei. I hope you understand. Everyone was shocked by her words, as if she had confessed her feelings in front of them. Even Sona and her group were stunned. Rais cried on his shoulder, and he looked into her eyes. Rais, my dear, I will join you on the battlefield alongside Sona's group. I promise to make sure everyone comes back alive. Please, don't be afraid. Rais, I never want to hear you speak like that again. You are a leader, and you need to encourage your group, not frighten them. I'm sorry, Issei, Rais said, wiping her tears. Many of the devils in the room were shocked at Issei's support against Kokobile. It's okay. Everyone, you need to listen to me if you want to survive. Okay, nearly everyone replied. Sona then looked at me. You seem very calm, my junior. I turned to her. Yes, Kokobile's power is nowhere near mine. Is it all right if we wait a bit? Everyone was astonished by Issei's confidence. Rais and Sona asked simultaneously, Issei, what are you waiting for? Suddenly, a crimson light appeared, revealing 6 men in red coats. Right, you 5, shield the school from the outside. We need a powerful barrier. The men immediately moved out, teleporting away. You came, I said to the man who stepped forward. Well, White Dragon Emperor, are you ready? Everyone was taken aback by my words. Of course. The conversation between Valet and me began to draw attention. Valet mentioned something he shouldn't have. I take it you've been all right. No, Issei. Your father hurt me badly and broke my pride. I told Orphis, but she just said it was to be expected from your family. The followers around us widened their eyes at the mention of Orphis's name, fear evident on their faces. Valet, remember, I brought you here to hurt him, not kill him. After all, my father did a number on you. Issei, I was in the hospital for over a week after the beating I took from your father. I wondered where you were since you missed the meetings, but it's all right, Valet. You survived to tell the tale. Valet simply stared at Issei. As they faced Kokobile, he was about to speak to Rais when he noticed Issei and Valet nearby. Okay, it's time, Valet. Vanishing Dragon Breaker. Valet raised his power to an impressive level, catching Issei's attention. Meanwhile, Issei's friends stood behind him, intimidated by Valet's strength. Issei Hayadu, what are you doing here with these pathetic devils? Saji and the others looked at Issei as Kokabil's voice dripped with disdain. Don't you dare call these devils weak. Be grateful I don't end you, Kokabil. Everyone's eyes widened at Issei's words. Valley, please proceed with the attack. Issei commanded as Valley began his assault on Kokabil. Issei raised his fingers, and everyone watched as he fired a beam of crimson light toward the two stray exorcists, who fell as Issei quickly caught them and teleported to Rais and Sona. Don't be afraid of him, everyone. He's with me. You probably heard that my father hurt him badly and broke his pride during their intense fight, more like a one-sided altercation. I asked him to deal with Kokabil to help him feel better. That's embarrassing, Issei Hayadu. Valley exclaimed, looking at Issei. Issei smiled and nodded, encouraging him to start the attack. Everyone was shocked as Kokabil received a beating more painful than death. Issei looked at everyone, who were still trembling from the display of power. I told you all it would be all right. You can relax for now. Everyone turned their attention to Issei. Sona then asked, Issei, who are you exactly? How do you know the White Dragon, and was the man from the engagement really your father? I did some research and found out that both your parents are human. Care to explain? I saved you all, yet you still ask me such questions? Please, President of the Student Council, that's my personal business. Sona nodded in response as Kokabil was punched and landed in front of Issei. Valley landed beside him, smiling at Issei. So, what do we do with him, Issei? Rais began to speak, but Issei interrupted Valley. No, don't take him to my father. He would simply perish in my father's presence. Issei turned to the other devils and instructed Valley, take him to our supreme leader along with the two stray exorcists. Everyone was confused by Issei and Valley's conversation, unaware of their powerful organization. Issei, why do you want to send him to Orphis? The mention of her name caused everyone to gasp. Rais and Sona exchanged glances, but Issei and Valley continued their discussion. Valley, it's for the best. Orphis won't kill him, trust me. I've known Orphis for a long time. Rais looked at Issei in shock. Okay, Issei, I'll make it happen. Valley bowed to him before departing. Everyone watched as Issei's men approached him. It's all right, men. You may return to the castle. Kokabil was a joke. Tell my father that Valley has sent that pathetic angel to Orphis for further torment. Issei's troops nodded and left. Everyone stared at Issei, but even Jean and his brother felt relieved to have him with them. Issei then walked toward them. Come, let's go. I'll see you all tomorrow or whenever. Rais and Sona looked at Issei, both saying, Thank you, Issei, for helping us. We didn't know how to handle Kokabil, but thanks to you, we didn't perish. Issei smiled at them. It's been a pleasure. He then turned to Aquino. Rais and Sona were curious about the plan for Kokabil's fate with Orphis. Aquino, do you remember the promise I made you? Aquino blushed at Issei's words. Yes, I still remember. She looked at him. Great. So when do you want us to go on our date, Aquino? The other devils overheard their conversation, and Rais was visibly upset, as was Asia. Can we go tomorrow, Issei? Aquino asked, her face still flushed. Yes, it would be my pleasure to go out with you. Issei looked at everyone. If any of you need my help, I'm just a phone call away. Later, everyone. With that, Issei teleported away to Orphis's hideout, where Kokabil was now in chains, enduring further torment from the Khaos Brigade. Issei looked at Orphis and said, Are you enjoying yourself, Orphis? Orphis met his gaze and replied, Of course, Issei. Issei's expression turned serious as he continued, Just don't hurt Kokabil too much. He then turned to Orphis and added, Do you think it's strange if I say I believe Valley will betray us eventually? Do you have any reasons for thinking that? Orphis asked, intrigued. Think about it. Valley has always acted in his own interest, and he's much stronger than when I first met him. As my rival, he might try to attack me soon. Any idea when? During the three factions meeting. I see. I'll come with you to stop him when he makes his move. Okay then, see you later. Issei left Orphis and returned home, only to find an unexpected visitor in his room. She was sitting at his desk as he emerged from the magic circle, which had unexpectedly landed him in the bathroom. As he approached his room, he sensed his former girlfriend's aura. Just as he was about to enter, his mother called him over. She informed him that Rais wanted to spend the night with him. Issei was taken aback by this news, suspecting that Rais might have influenced his parents somehow. He finally entered his room. "Hi Rais. I see your spell worked on my parents." Rais looked at him, blushing. "Hi Issei, but how did you know? I'm a devil too, remember? I can tell when my parents are acting differently." Issei began to change into his sleeping attire, and Rais watched him with a smile. "I'm really tired, Rais. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to sleep." Rais quickly asked if she could join him, not in a romantic sense, but just to sleep beside him. "Yes, you may, Rais." She laid her head on his shoulder and began to chat with him. "Issei?" "Yes, Rais? My brother and Sona's sister would like to speak with you tomorrow before your date with Akino." Rais looked down, a hint of sadness in her eyes as she mentioned the date. "Okay, I'll talk to them." Issei felt a mix of emotions. Rais was his girlfriend, but time had shifted back, and he still had feelings for her. "I take it you're not happy about my date with Akino?" Rais asked, looking at him. "No, I understand you promised her." Issei embraced her, and she blushed at his warmth. "Thanks for understanding, Rais. Maybe we could go on a date whenever you want, if you choose me." Rias's face turned as red as her hair at his words. "Please, Issei, I would love to go on a date with you." "Okay, Rais, I accept." They settled into each other's arms that night. For Issei, it wasn't the first time, but he longed for moments like this. Rais, on the other hand, was falling deeper in love with Issei, finding comfort in knowing he could protect her, as he had proven against Razor Phoenix. The next morning, Issei woke up earlier than Rais and decided to visit his father, known as Great Red. Unbeknownst to Rais, he had left 2 hours before his alarm. Issei teleported to his father for some training and bonding time. They discussed Issei's past life, and he shared everything about the Gremory group and how supportive they were. Great Red hugged Issei tightly, giving him powers similar to his own, transforming Issei into a pure dragon. Their training focused on Issei becoming an Apocalypse Red Dragon, while his other dragon, Drake, was on a break, training with one of the most powerful beings in the universe. After 2 hours of training, Issei said his goodbyes and teleported back to his room, where the clock read 6. "Issei, where have you been?" Rais asked, her aura radiating concern as he entered the room. "I'm sorry, Rais. I didn't mean to let you sleep alone, but I was only gone for about 3 hours." "And where did you go?" Rais raised an eyebrow, her curiosity piqued. "I'm not part of your peerage, and while we're friends, I appreciate some privacy," Issei replied with a smile. "Friends, Issei?" "Yes, Rais. Now, let's get ready for school." In the kitchen, Issei's mother asked Rais, "Are you feeling okay today? I hope my son made you feel welcome." "Thanks, Mrs. Haidu, for letting me stay with Issei," Rais replied, blushing slightly at the mention of Issei's mother. "Oh, it's perfectly fine, Rais. You can stay as long as you want now that I know you and Issei are a couple." Rias's face turned red as Issei walked in. "Are you ready, Rais?" he asked, smiling at her. "Yes, Issei, let's go." As they walked to school, Issei began to talk. "So, Rais, what does your brother want to discuss with me?" "He wants to thank you for saving us during the fight against Kokobile." Issei took Rias's hand, feeling a warmth spread between them. "Okay, Rais. Will you join me for the meeting?" "Everyone you saved will be there, including Sona's group and mine, of course." "Rais, I'm sorry for being rude earlier when you asked about where I was." "It's okay." "Issei, I understand," Rais said, looking at him earnestly. "No, you don't, Rais. I was with my father, resuming my training with him." "Issei, I don't understand how you have 2 fathers. Are they just for show?" "Who?" "The human ones, Rais." Issei felt a pang of guilt for calling his real parents fake, but he needed to protect them from the dangers that still lay ahead. "Oh, I see, Issei. I'm just glad they like you at my house. You can stay there if you want, Rais." Rias's face lit up with happiness at his words. I would love to stay with you, Issei, if you don't mind. Of course you can. You even called my mother, mother. Rais turned a deep shade of red as Issei looked at her. Don't worry, Rais, you don't need to be shy around me. They arrived at school and went to their classes. After school, the meeting was about to begin. Rais escorted Issei to the meeting where she would also be present along with Sona and the rest of Rias's peerage. Lord Surzex and Serafal were already there, waiting for Issei. Ah, you must be Issei Hayadu, Serafal said with a warm smile. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet two of the Mao of the Devil World. Issei took his seat and looked at them. I understand that both of you wanted to speak to me, Issei said casually. Lord Surzex regarded him thoughtfully. So you already know who we are, yet you didn't show us the respect we deserve, Issei? Forgive me. Issei bowed his head slightly. Issei, on behalf of the Mao government, I want to thank you for stopping Kokabeel. You truly saved Rais and Sona's groups. However, I was informed that you called the White Dragon to your aid. Issei glanced over to see Zenobia, who had joined the Occult Research Club, before looking back at Lord Surzex and Serafal. Please, if that's your way, you should be thanking the White Dragon. I would have dealt with Kokabeel myself. Everyone's eyes widened at his words. And why is that, Issei? Lord Surzex asked, intrigued. Because he knows very important things about me, Lord Surzex. He would have had to be eliminated, but as Rais and Sona probably told you, he's now facing punishment from Orphis. Lord Surzex raised an eyebrow. Why is he there, Issei Hayadu? Please, just call me Issei. He's undergoing further punishment. He wouldn't have preferred my father's punishment, after all. Death still awaits that fallen angel. So, Issei Hayadu, what sacred gear do you possess since you are a reincarnated devil? Oh, I don't have a sacred gear. I am a high-class devil. Gasps filled the room at Issei's declaration. He stood up and walked to the window. High-class devil? Lord Surzex and Serafal echoed in disbelief. Yes, I suppressed my kingly power and used it with 8 pawns instead. My father actually helped me do it. And where is your father right now? Probably in his castle. You both must wonder who he is, given that he surpasses both of you. Yes, we would. Unfortunately, Mao, that's my father's identity, and he doesn't want you to know. Issei glanced over at Rais before returning his gaze to Surzex. Don't worry, Lord Surzex. I have your sister's back. I told her and Sona that if they ever need me, they can just call. Nice to hear that from you. Okay, can I leave now? I need to get home quickly. Sure, no problem, Issei Hayadu. Issei walked through the door and teleported to his father to resume his training. Akino would be pleased that he was still following through with her plan. He hoped nothing unexpected would happen, as he knew Valet Lucifer would have something up his sleeve involving betrayal. Issei was aware that the 3 factions were set to meet soon at Ku Academy, where Valet would introduce himself as Valet Lucifer. He would need to present himself as the son of Great Red. Drake, I hope you're still resting. Yes, I am, Issei. Issei, can I tell you about your newly attained powers? Sure, Drake, what about it? Issei, listen carefully. You have become a threat to the 3 factions. You have inherited Great Red's power along with Orphis's infinite power. You won't even need me anymore. Don't worry, Drake. You are my partner forever. As I was saying, Issei, you will remain in Balance Breaker forever and in Juggernaut Drive as well. Your demonic powers are infinite, and you are probably the most powerful devil to ever exist in the future and the past. Well, that's a lot to say to me. Thanks, Drake. As the meeting concluded, Issei still had to go on his date with Akino later that day. Both of them were preparing for their first date. Well, not Issei, actually, since he had reverted time and had already been on dates with Rais and Akino. But now he had to keep Akino happy, considering this was her first date, while also keeping Valet on his mind, knowing that a leaders' committee would be taking place at his school soon. Drake, are you awake? This is it. Do you need anything? Drake, I need advice. Advice? About what, Issei? Valley Lucifer will attempt to do something at the gathering of the three factions. Any ideas on how to stop him, Drake? Yes, but Issei, why don't you just go with the flow? With the flow? Drake, if that happens, I will be discovered. But you have informed many of the Khaos Brigade members about Vala's intentions, right? Yes, they are well aware of Vala's intentions, but he has probably formed the same team he had last time. They will likely join the hero faction. Orphis told him that Valley wanted to be in the Khaos Brigade but might want his head or even to remove him from the group. But he didn't know what Issei was capable of, so he would be surprised. Issei, I doubt he will beat you. You will win, partner. Thanks, Drake. I am here if you ever need me, partner. Issei stepped out of his house, heading to the Occult Research Club to pick up Akino, as he had promised her for their date. He told himself that it was best for Valley to approach them in his own way, and that Issei would step in against whatever Valley planned at the meeting that day. As Issei walked outside the Occult Research Club, he saw Rais and smiled at her. He waved and she waved back. Issei, can you please come up here? I need to speak to you about something, she called. Oh, okay. I'll be there now, Rais, Issei replied as he made his way to her. Good afternoon, everyone, he greeted as he entered. The others welcomed him warmly, grateful for his bravery in saving them from Kokobile and for the assistance of the devil Lucifer himself. Issei, Rais said, and he smiled back at her. You wanted to tell me something, Rais? Just as she was about to speak, Akino entered, instantly becoming the center of attention in the clubhouse. Issei's eyes lit up at the sight of her, which made Rais frown with annoyance. My goodness, Akino, you truly are a goddess. So beautiful, Issei exclaimed, feeling his heart flutter. Deep down, however, he knew his heart still belonged to Rais, who was watching them intently. The rest of the club members had never seen Akino dressed so attractively, showcasing her beauty. Issei, you're making me nervous by staring at me for so long, Akino said, a blush creeping onto her cheeks. I can't help myself. Don't worry, I'll spoil you today, Akino. Akino stepped closer, resting against his chest, which only fueled Rias's irritation. Please, can you two stop? Issei, I was still talking to you about something important that my brother asked you about. You know he is the demon lord of the underworld. Issei paused, turning to face her. Rais, can't this wait until tomorrow? I really don't need to listen to your brother. Everyone was taken aback by his words, including Akino. Rais, please don't be upset. Issei promised me he would take me out, remember? Akino chimed in. Issei, please listen to me. It's very important. Issei suggested that Akino wait outside, knowing she was aware of what Rais was going to ask. Okay, I'll wait outside then. Oh, and Akino, think about what you like because when I'm done here, I'll do whatever your heart desires on our date. Akino blushed again, nodding shyly as she hurried downstairs. The others were touched by his words, including Rais, Asia, Zenobia, and Kaneko, who were all curious about what would happen on this date. Issei sat down in front of Rais, ready to listen. Issei, I wanted to speak to you because I'm representing my brother, and I want this to happen too. Issei looked puzzled. I honestly don't know what you're trying to say, but please go on. Rais continued. Issei, my brother the demon lord himself wants you to join my peerage. He sees you as a valuable asset to us. Please, Issei, become my servant. Everyone hoped Issei would agree, but he started laughing. What's so funny? I'm serious. Rais placed 8 of her new pawns in front of him, given by her brother. As a devil yourself, you can't decline this. It's from the demon lord. No, Rais, I can and I do decline your offer. I really don't want to join your group. Please don't take offense. How dare you insult me and the demon lord's offer? Rias's frustration was palpable, and Issei met her gaze with a calm smile, ready to counter her argument. Oh please, Rais. I saved you from your previous fiancé. Had it not been for me hearing your cry, you would have been living with Razor, and your life would have been very different. Think about how it could have been if I hadn't chosen to help you. Everyone was shocked by his words. Jean decided to intervene. Don't speak of my master like that, Jean exclaimed, but Issei replied, stop interfering, Jean. I'm just talking to Rais and she started it. Issei looked back at Rais, who seemed on the verge of tears. Rais, please stop this. We were all getting along. You're being selfish with me. He gently wiped her tears away. Rais looked up at him with her blue puppy eyes. I meant it when I said I'd help you, but not now. Rais, you barely know anything about me. Issei pulled her into a comforting hug, and she felt safe against his chest. He stroked her hair and said, Rais, I think it's best if you don't come to my house, considering I've hurt you now. I hope to see you again. Before Rais could respond, Issei teleported away to Aquino, who was waiting patiently. Aquino, are you ready for our timeout? Issei asked, noticing her blush as he surprised her from behind. Oh, Issei, this is unexpected. I was just lost in thought about my conversation with Rais, he admitted, his mood shifting. Forget her. Let's go, Aquino. This was their second date, and Issei had a feeling they would revisit familiar places. As they walked down the street, they saw other couples holding hands. Eventually, Issei and Aquino joined in, enjoying the moment together. Issei, can you be my boyfriend today? She asked, echoing her previous question. Sure, he replied, and Aquino beamed with joy. After their walk, they entered the aquarium, hand in hand, marveling at the fish and sharks. Later, they enjoyed ice cream and browsed nearby shops, picking out clothes for each other. Aquino showed Issei a beautiful piece of lingerie she admired, and Issei understood her hint, happily purchasing it for her. Aquino beamed with joy, and Issei appreciated her beauty just as much as he did Rais's. As they walked together, they sensed Rais and the other girls nearby, though they were clearly trying to remain hidden. Eventually, they linked arms, strolling past the familiar Orphis. I can't believe they actually linked arms, Rais remarked, glancing at Kaneko. If anything happens, we'll step in, Bucho, Kaneko assured her. Rais nodded in agreement. Soon, they noticed Issei and Aquino were aware of their presence, prompting them to flee. We've been spotted, Rais exclaimed as the rest of the group chased after them. Later, as they enjoyed their final moments together at a restaurant, Aquino turned to Issei. Thank you, Issei, she said, leaning in for a kiss, which Issei reciprocated, pulling her closer. No, thank you, Queen of Rais Gremory. You could charm any man, Issei complimented, causing Aquino to blush. They walked home together, and as Aquino kissed him again, Issei returned the kiss with warmth. See you tomorrow, Aquino. Yes, same to you. I had a wonderful time, Issei. As Aquino watched him leave, she realized she had fallen in love with him. She called out just before he departed. Issei, would you consider staying with me tonight? I think I might be in love with you. Aquino's cheeks flushed, and Issei felt a rush of emotions. Aquino, please don't say things like that, he replied, sensing her sincerity but feeling overwhelmed. Aquino looked down, thinking he was joking. Maybe we can explore that another time. But for tonight, sleep well. I might just take you up on that offer in the future. I care about you, but I also don't want to hurt Rais, since she has feelings for me too. So, I'll see you later, Kino. With that, Issei teleported to his room, where he found Rais waiting for him. Rais, what are you doing here? I thought I asked you not to come over anymore. Rais was nestled under the covers, revealing her beautiful form to Issei. He admired her but felt the tension in the air. All right, Rais. You can stay with me, he said, and Rais smiled, her eyes widening as he changed into his sleepwear. Rais, I'm sorry for bringing up Razor and how it hurt you, Issei said, his tone sincere. Rais looked at him, her expression softening. I will protect you, Rais. I promise to be by your side whenever you need me. Rais blushed at his words. Thank you, Issei. It makes me so happy to have you with me. Please keep protecting me. Don't worry. Just call me whenever you need me. I'll always make time for you, he assured her. Rais's cheeks turned a deeper shade. Issei, please. I beg you to join my peerage. I would love to have you in my group, she said, holding onto his arm, her face matching her vibrant hair. I've told you before, Rais, I don't want to join your group or Have a master, he replied gently. Rais climbed on top of him, her determination clear. Issei, I promise to be the best master I can be. Can we just sleep now? He asked, noticing her disappointment. Okay, but I'll keep trying, Issei. The next morning, Rais still felt down about Issei's refusal. Issei's parents treated her like his girlfriend, despite his insistence that they weren't a couple. On their way to school, Rais brought up something important. Issei, there's something I forgot to mention. My brother wanted me to ask if you could attend the 3 factions meeting for protection, as you promised. I'll try, Rais, but I have another meeting later. I'll do my best to be there for Lord Surzex and you. Okay, I'll let him know. They parted ways, anticipating the meeting later that afternoon. Rais informed Issei that she planned to release a member of her peerage. Issei assumed it would be Gasper. Hours passed, and as the meeting approached, the 3 factions were already gathered, waiting for Issei. The devils were represented by the 2 Maos, Lord Surzex Lucifer and Seraphal Leviathan, along with their sisters, Rais and Sona, and their peerages. The angels were led by Archangel Michael and Gabriel, with Irina looking disappointed at Zenovia's new allegiance to the devils. The fallen angels were represented by Azazel and Valley, who stood against the wall. The Student Council and Occult Research Club were shocked to see Valley with a fallen angel after he had helped them against Kokabeel. Lord Surzex eyed Valley suspiciously, concerned about his connection to Issei. As the meeting commenced, a massive army of magicians emerged, outnumbering their forces, and chaos ensued. Azazel ordered Valley to distract the attackers as more magicians began to assault the building where the meeting was held. Suddenly, Azazel was struck down by someone. Looks like you've got quite a punch, huh, Valley? Sorry about that, Azazel. Being on this side seems a lot more entertaining, Jean shouted toward Valley. So you're the traitor? Jean accused, and Azazel flew toward Valley. Valley, I just want to ask you one thing. Valley replied. Shemhazai, our Vice-Governor-General, has received word about a group gathering potential threats to the 3 main powers. The Khaos Brigade, as I recall. Khaos Brigade. Lord Surzex said, concern etched on his face. Seraphal then spoke. To gather all these dangerous people, one would need a tremendous amount of power to achieve that. Azazel chimed in, I don't exactly know who your leader is, Valley, but you could at least tell us. Everyone waited for Valley to respond. Issei Hayadu is the leader of the Khaos Brigade and he is the Red Dragon Emperor. The revelation shocked everyone, and Rais and Aquino nearly stumbled at the news. Lord Surzex addressed those around him. So that explains why he keeps wearing red. I don't believe you, Valley. I know Issei, and he would never do something like this to form a powerful group like yours. Did you do this on your own accord? Rais asked, still in disbelief. No, I left their group because I am Valley Lucifer, and I wanted to defeat him. So, I joined the hero faction to hurt him. Everyone gasped at the sight of his bat-like wings. A Lucifer? They thought in horror. Lord Surzex remarked, another powerful group, still in shock. Yes, we are currently fighting against Issei's Khaos Brigade as we speak, Valley replied, glancing at Rais. It's a battle of gods, you devils, angels, and fallen angels. So don't get in the way. But Rais, I still can't believe Issei saved you from Razor. To think he actually discussed this with everyone in his group. I would have left you with that Razor Phoenix so you two could settle down and have children of Phoenix fire and destruction, making your devils weak like you, Rais, and your former fiancé. You can't even fight your own battles, so just settle down. Rais, furious at Valley's words, launched a ball of destruction power toward him. Rais, don't. Lord Surzex shouted as Valley effortlessly redirected the ball back at her, infused with even more power. Just as Lord Surzex was about to intervene, a crimson light appeared in front of Rais, absorbing the blast. Issei and Orphis stood protectively in front of Rais, leaving her and the rest of the 3 factions in shock. Issei turned to Rais. Rais, is that you? Issei, is that really you? Rais asked, her disbelief evident. Rais, step away from us now, Issei commanded. Valley Lucifer's betrayal will lead you nowhere but to your end, Orphis added, her gaze fixed on Valley. Supreme Leader Orphis, I have always respected you, but I will join you if you help me take down Issei, Valley said, shocking everyone. Issei then spoke, Valley, I understand your betrayal, but if you choose to leave now, this is your chance. I will spare you from death. The tension in the air was palpable. Valley, how many troops do you have behind you? Orphis inquired. The hero faction provided me with 20,000 magicians to defeat all of you, Valley replied, smirking. Issei, you're scaring poor Rais. Issei chuckled. Orphis then addressed the group, Valley, once Issei's father arrives, there will be 20,000 bodies, including yours. Valley's expression shifted to one of shock, and the three factions felt a renewed fear for Issei. Red Dragon Emperor, who is your father exactly? I trained with him and spent a week in the hospital, Valley said, his voice trembling. My father goes by two names in the supernatural world. Please listen, Valley. He is known as the Apocalypse Dragon God and also as Great Red. Everyone's eyes widened in fear at the mention of Issei's father. Rais felt faint as Valley began to shiver at Issei's words. Issei then unleashed a crimson blast into the sky, signaling his father and some of their soldiers to escort Great Red himself. The atmosphere grew tense. Father, Issei called as Great Red nodded in acknowledgement. Nice to see you joined us here, Great Red, Issei said. Yes, it is, Orphis, Great Red replied. Everyone felt overwhelmed by the presence of such powerful beings. Great Red swiftly transformed into an older version of Issei and charged toward the magicians, leaving Valley frozen in place as his troops fell one by one. The fear of Great Red was palpable as he locked eyes with Valley, who felt a chill run down his spine. He's mine to fight, father. Leave him for me to finish, Issei shouted. Great Red smiled at him and turned to Valley. Okay, I will enjoy watching this, Great Red said, landing behind. The entire group jumped back at his imposing presence. More men in red robes landed with him, positioning themselves closer to the three factions. Rais and everyone else looked at Issei as his aura began to radiate with immense demonic power. He's far stronger than any of us here, Lord Surzex murmured, equally astonished. What power? Rais thought to herself until someone heard her speak. Don't worry, Rais Gremory. Issei isn't going to hurt any of your people. Just watch him fight Valley Lucifer, Great Red reassured, shocking everyone with his knowledge of her name. He, Orphis, and their troops in red robes moved to the three allied factions, preparing to shield them with a powerful barrier. Great Red turned to Orphis. So, who do you think will win, Orphis? Orphis laughed lightly. No offense to the devils, but no matter what family you're from, Issei will defeat Valley with ease, even if he is a Lucifer. After all, he's the all-powerful leader of our Khaos Brigade. The realization of their impending doom settled over everyone, knowing they couldn't contend with this faction, especially with Great Red present. Welsh Dragon overboost. Issei's power surged, surpassing that of a legendary-class devil. He charged straight toward Valley, who braced himself for the confrontation. Their heads collided, causing both to feel a tremendous amount of pain, but then Valley struck Issei, sending him crashing to the ground. Issei's power waned as he struggled to feel it, but it quickly returned, partly infinite like Orphis. His speed surged as he unleashed a flurry of punches on Valley, eventually breaking through his armor. Valley stared in disbelief. How come my divide didn't work on you, Issei? Issei smiled back. Why don't you ask Albion? Albion began to speak, and everyone could hear, as both Valley and Albion were in shock. Valley, it appears that Draig's host was born with the powers of infinity. Valley was stunned, just like the three factions watching. What now, Albion? Valley barely managed to ask. There is no way we can defeat him in this form. Juggernaut drive, Albion. No, Valley, don't do it. He could be holding back. In an instant, Valley was sent flying to the ground as Issei picked him up with his dragon tail and began to strike him repeatedly, causing Valley to cry out for mercy. The onlookers were terrified, witnessing the Red Dragon Emperor deliver a fate that seemed worse than death to the White Dragon Emperor. Valley was being overwhelmed, his armor shattered from the relentless blows, yet he remained conscious as Issei pressed his foot against his chest. Tears streamed down Valley's face as the three factions watched in fear. Pathetic, Valley. To still call yourself a Lucifer, Issei taunted, kicking Valley aside, leaving him unable to move. Great Red and Orphis laughed as the three factions stood frozen, watching the scene unfold. Issei then teleported next to Orphis and his father, leaving everyone stunned to see him back, his balance breaker deactivated. And now, care to explain yourself? Great Red asked. We need to draw his new group out, it's going to be a great war. I await the fight, father. Who else is part of this group besides him, Issei? Orphis inquired. Many powerful evil dragons, including Apophis, Azzy-Dahaka, Grendel, and Krumkruch, among others. We also know that Euclid Lucifuge and Rizavim Levon Lucifer are involved. Issei and Orphis spoke Rizavim's name in unison, shocking everyone with the revelation of these additional members. There are also many with artificial sacred gears. They are very powerful and pose an immediate threat. Issei declared, we will defeat them in time. Great Red laughed heartily. Valley lay unable to move as the barrier around the three factions fell. The leaders of the factions were stunned to learn about this new terrorist group known as the Hero Faction. Suddenly, as Valley began to stir, Biko arrived to rescue him from certain defeat. Biko! I can't believe it! Another traitor, Issei remarked as Biko looked at them. Please, my lords. Let me take Valley and leave here in one piece. Biko bowed respectfully. Great Red chuckled at him. Let's kill him, he suggested. No, stand down. This is a former member of my Khaos Brigade. Biko, I will allow you to leave as you have served me well. But if we meet again, I will not hesitate to end you. Biko nodded and prepared to leave with Valley. I will take my leave now. Until next time, he said. Great Red replied, wait for me, and then he and Orphis departed. Issei stood confidently with his troops, all clad in striking red uniforms. He turned to face the three factions, who remained tense and apprehensive in his presence. What happened at the Hero Faction base? He inquired. My lord, it was entertaining, but when your father arrived, they were swiftly defeated. There wasn't anything or anyone of significance lost there, one of his troops replied. That's because they were hiding. They will never confront us openly. They will face their end eventually. But my father always seems to interfere with my plans, Issei said, frustration evident in his voice. Yes, but he did assist us, the soldier noted. I wanted to give you all a thrilling battle. Remember, we are two factions, the Red Dragon Gods and the Khaos Brigade. But thank you. You may all leave now. With that, his troops teleported away. Issei turned his attention to Rais, who was visibly upset. So, are you all going to stay quiet? She asked, her voice trembling. You lied to me and everyone else, Rais said, tears welling in her eyes. Don't cry, Rais. I told you I had more pressing matters than joining your group. I don't have the same freedom you all do. I'm busy too. Please forgive me. I'm not your enemy, remember? I've already proven that, Issei reassured her. Lord Surzex then interjected, so you are the son of Great Red? Yes, I'm a half-devil and a dragon god, Issei replied. Dragon god, Rais echoed in disbelief. I can do everything that Great Red can do, and I possess infinite power like Orphis, Issei added, causing shock to ripple through the group. Don't worry, I have no intentions of harming any of you. I must take my leave now, I need to meet my father. We can arrange a meeting soon, and all the leaders of the three factions can come to ask me anything. You can choose the venue if you still don't trust me. Thank you, we appreciate that, Lord Issei Hayadu, Lord Surzex said. Please, just call me Issei, he replied with a smile. Irina looked at Issei, confusion etched on her face. It was hard for her to comprehend that the most powerful being was Issei's father. Issei departed to meet Great Red, where they would discuss Valley Lucifer, with Orphis joining them. Back at the clubhouse, Lord Surzex spoke to Rais privately. Sister, you must stay away from him. Brother, why? Rais pleaded, tears streaming down her face. I am your brother and your demon lord, so you must heed my words, Surzex insisted. Rais nodded, still crying as Surzex left. Suddenly, Issei appeared before her. Rais, what happened? Why are you crying? He asked, gently lifting her up and seating her on the couch. My brother told me to stay away from you because you are dangerous and our enemy, Rais confessed. Issei smiled reassuringly at her. Rais, I am not your enemy, nor your brother's. Remember, I saved you from your marriage and from Vala's attack. Holding her hand, Rais looked up at him. Issei, can I stay by your side tonight? I feel safe with you. Of course, Rais. You can stay with me tonight. Tomorrow, I will speak to your brother about what you just said, if you don't mind, Issei replied, holding her hand as they teleported to his house. As they settled in for the night, a presence approached them while they slept. Issei recognized the visitor. Ah, Orphis, what brings you here? Rais stirred awake at the sound of his voice. Sleeping with the crimson-ruined princess? Oh, Issei, you naughty boy. Rais felt a warm blush creeping onto her cheeks. We didn't do what you're thinking, Orphis. What brings you here? Rais felt a flutter of anxiety at Orphis's close presence. Kokabeel wants to speak with you, Issei. Issei turned to Rais. Rais, would you please come with me to speak with Kokabeel? I promise you won't feel scared. Okay, Issei, I'll come with you to speak with him. Rais got out of bed and used her magic to don her school uniform. Issei handed her a regal red robe to wear. Together, they teleported to Orphis's new hideout to meet with Kokabeel. Upon their arrival, Rais looked around. Issei, where's Orphis? Don't worry, she's somewhere in the castle right now. We need to go to the dungeon. Issei, who are these powerful people? Issei gently took Rais's hand and placed his arm around her waist, causing her to blush. Don't worry. I will protect you, just stay close to me, Rais. These are my father's troops. They made their way to the dungeon. Kokabeel? You wanted to speak to me. Rais still held onto Issei's waist as he addressed Kokabeel. Issei Haidu, as the son of Great Red, I accept my punishment for what I have done to the three factions. May I please leave this place and move to a more secure location? Orphis is causing me distress, and I have suffered enough. Issei's words shocked Rais. I'll leave your fate to my queen beside me. Issei glanced at Rais, who was blushing deeply. Kokabeel turned his gaze to her, and Issei was curious about her reaction. Rais, what can we do with him? Rais leaned in closer to Issei, whispering in his ear. They conferred for a moment, and then Issei unlocked Kokabeel before they teleported again, this time to Great Red himself, a suggestion from Rais. Issei, more red robes, Rais remarked as Kokabeel began to realize where he was. The men Rais had mentioned arrived to escort him away to Great Red. Don't worry, Rais, this is my father's place. Let's go to my room, I'm feeling tired, but we can speak to my father in the morning. As they headed to Issei's room, they could hear Kokabeel's distant cries. Moments later, they settled down to sleep, with Rais holding onto Issei's arm. She was surprised to be there, yet Issei's protective demeanor made her feel secure. Despite knowing her brother would be upset about her presence, Issei assured her he would talk to him, even if her brother had warned her against visiting. As morning broke, Issei and Rais remained in the castle within the dimensional gap. Rais had her left arm draped over Issei, who was still peacefully asleep beside her. It was nearly 4 a.m. when Issei began to hear Great Red arguing with his many servants, beings he had created with the power of dreams and immense strength. Issei quietly got out of bed, turning to see Rais still sleeping soundly. He decided to get dressed and investigate the commotion. Issei made his way to where his father was. He found Great Red discussing the importance of taking care of his bikes with his servants. Issei still couldn't understand his father's fascination with motorcycles, and whenever he asked, Great Red would simply reply, "Why do you like girls?" Issei chose to leave him to his thoughts and continued on his way. Long night, hasn't it? Great Red said as he spotted his son. Issei chuckled in response. Morning, father. Yes, it has been a long night. Great Red noticed the expression on Issei's face before he spoke again. Rais Gremory was with me last night. I asked her if she wanted to come with me to Orphis's place, and from there, we ended up here. She mentioned that her brother sees us as enemies. I offered to arrange a meeting with him to understand his perspective. What do you think? I'm not sure what you should do, but whatever you decide, I support you completely. Besides, what could they possibly do against me and Orphis? Great Red replied. Okay, I'll talk to Rais about it, but I need to ask you something else regarding past events, Issei said, sounding concerned. When I was with the Gremory group, we were heading to the underworld after the three factions meeting. We unexpectedly encountered Tannen, one of the former dragon kings. I was wondering if he might remember me from our past encounters since he is a powerful dragon, close to Drake's strength. No, the spell that the Time Dragon and Orphis used erased the memories of everyone who knew you and brought you back a week before those devils at your school noticed you. So, you truly are my son, and no one really knows about your past. They probably wouldn't believe you if you told them, Great Red explained, and Issei nodded in agreement. Okay then, father. Is it alright if Rais and I use the dining room since it's morning and she will likely be hungry when she wakes up? Of course, Issei. Just tell the servants what to prepare for you both. Issei nodded and headed to the kitchen. A few hours later, Rais woke up and noticed Issei was not beside her. Checking the time, she realized it was 6:30 a.m. I better get up. I wonder where Issei is, she thought. As she got up, she realized she was in a large room, reminiscent of one of her father's castles in the underworld. After changing into her school clothes, she was approached by a maid. Miss Rais Gremory, Lord Issei is waiting for you. If you are ready, please follow me. Rais nodded and followed the maid down the corridor into a large room where Issei was seated at a table filled with an array of Japanese food. Thank you for escorting Rais here. You may leave now, Issei said to the maid before pulling out a chair for Rais. They both sat down. Please, Rais, eat as much as you like. You must be hungry after everything that happened last night, Issei encouraged. Thank you, Issei, for having me here and for saving me from that blast yesterday. It was nothing. I promised I would come, but I'm sorry you had to learn about my affiliations in such a way. Please forgive me, Rais. Issei bowed his head slightly. It's okay, Issei. My brother can't do anything against you, considering who he would be up against. I want him alive because we all realized last night before I came to you that your father is Great Red, and your affiliation is with the Infinite Dragon as well, Rais replied. That's true, but Great Red is my only family. My human parents are merely illusions. I lost my mother due to war while I continued to live in the human world. What I wanted to ask is if I could have a meeting with your brother to discuss everything that happened and hear his side of the story regarding last night, Issei requested. Issei, I mean no harm to anyone there. Okay, I'll let you know after school today. Thanks. Tell him I will come alone. Issei, this food is delicious. It's actually my favorite. How did you know? Rais asked, surprised. Issei smiled, knowing her well, even without her realizing that time had turned back and they had been lovers before. We both live in Japan, remember? I thought we should enjoy some food we're used to. Anyway, I assume you can teleport anywhere in the world. So, you should be able to exit the dimensional gap as well. I might be a bit late for school, so please excuse me, Rais. Talk to you soon. Rais nodded, thanking him for his hospitality before leaving. She explained to her servants where she had been, and they were shocked to learn about the castle in the gap and the powerful beings Issei and his father commanded. Her brother was pleased that Issei was willing to talk and apologized for telling her to stay away from him. He then called Michael and Azazel to attend the meeting, where they would discuss a peace treaty regarding Issei Hayadu and his father, the Apocalypse Dragon. Later, as Issei walked to the club room after school, he felt a sense of anticipation for what was to come. He was reflecting on everything that had transpired so far, feeling a sense of relief that his other dragon was no longer referred to as the Melon's Dragon. After the time rewind, very few in the underworld recognized Issei, and the Red Dragon was pleased about it, allowing Issei to ponder his former fans. Issei, Orphis, and Great Red were announcing to every faction in the world the formation of their new dragon faction, the Dragon Gods, now consisting of 3 members. Great Red was also busy creating other beings to join their faction. While the other two were informing the factions, Issei suspected that Surzek's Lucifer had summoned his fallen angels and angel allies to the meeting. After months of intense training, Issei felt confident that he could face Loki in his balance breaker and emerge victorious, though he was uncertain about the involvement of his pet wolf Fenrir and his children, Hattie and Skoll, fearing he might struggle against them. In the Occult Research Club room, Rais was not pleased with Jean, who was upset with her for staying in the castle of the True Dragon. Alongside Issei, she recounted everything she had witnessed, including the fallen angel Kokobile pleading for mercy from Issei, who remained a prisoner. She had already informed her brother about everything she had seen at Issei's place. "So, Bucho, when is Issei coming to the club?" "He said after school, right?" Aquino asked Rais. "Yes, he did, Kino. Just give him some time, I'm sure he will arrive soon." Just then, Issei knocked on the door of the Occult Research Club. "You may enter, Issei," Rais called out. Issei opened the door. "Hello, everyone." The group stared at the dragon god, but eventually greeted him back. Aquino offered him tea, which he accepted as he sat opposite Rais and her servants. Jean was still angry with him, but after hearing Rais speak of Issei's capabilities, he realized that Issei could likely defeat any devil, including her brother. "Issei, my brother will be here in 2 hours. Is that okay with you?" Rais asked. Issei glanced at her servants and noticed a blue-haired girl he recognized. "Yes, thanks, Rais. I see you have a new servant." Zenobia felt a pang of anxiety at being mentioned, hesitant to discuss the future with Issei. "Yes, I forgot to introduce her. This is Zenobia Corda, my other knight." Issei nodded at Rais. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Zenobia Corda." "Same to you, Dragon God." Issei allowed her to call him that, given his status in the Dragon God faction. In fact, everyone seemed intimidated by Issei. "What about the vampire boy I've sensed here in the club room? Is something wrong with him?" Issei inquired, surprising everyone with his knowledge before Rais could explain. "He is very powerful, Issei. I can't really control his power either, and my brother instructed me to seal him," Rais said. "Let me talk to him and try to calm him down. After all, I am quite powerful myself," Issei replied confidently. Rais considered his words and nodded, and they made their way to the mysterious devil hybrid. The members of the Occult Research Club stood in front of a sealed door adorned with caution tape that read, "Keep out," in the old building. Surzek had informed Rais that with Issei's help, she could manage the situation. "Is this bishop perhaps afraid of his powers?" Issei inquired. "Well, that child resides in this room, but at night, his powers loosen, allowing him to leave, though he chooses not to," Rais explained. "Doesn't that make him ineffective as a servant?" Rox asked. "Not at all. He is our biggest asset, securing the most contracts," Aquino replied, defending her junior. "That's impressive. How does he manage that?" Asia asked, intrigued. "Through a computer. He takes special contracts from those who prefer not to meet in person and handles negotiations online," Rais clarified. Kiba and Jean removed the caution tape, and Rais dispelled the magical seal on the door. Once the seals vanished, Aquino opened the door. A loud scream echoed as the door swung open. Rais and her peerage seemed to expect it, while Issei smiled, already knowing who it was. "It's good to see you're in high spirits," Rais called out as she stepped into the room. "Wi," a timid voice responded, and everyone turned to see someone hiding behind a chair. "The seal has been removed. You can come outside so we can all be together," Aquino said gently. "No. This place is fine. I don't want to go outside," the voice cried out. As everyone followed Rais into the room, they noticed the curtains were tightly shut, casting a dim light. The room was filled with stuffed dolls and decorated with lace, giving it a distinctly feminine touch, complete with a coffin in the corner. Peering past Rais and Aquino, they saw the source of the scream, a figure with platinum blonde hair styled in a bob cut, small fringes framing his forehead, pinkish-violet eyes, pointed ears, and dressed in a girl's uniform with thigh-high socks. "Look, Asia, we have another blonde in our group," Rox remarked. "Yes, her hair is lovely," Asia agreed. I'm sorry to disappoint you both, but that's a boy, Aquino said with a smile. Excuse me, did you say he's a boy? Zenobia asked, surprised. Yes, he just prefers to dress that way, Kiba explained. Jin's eyes narrowed, clearly displeased. He glared at Rias's bishop and shouted, Why are you wearing girls' clothes? Because they're cute, was the nonchalant reply. This is my bishop, Gasper Vladi. Gasper, I'd like you to meet everyone, Rias introduced with a regal tone. No. There are too many people now, I don't want to meet them. Gasper screamed. Jin's frustration grew at Gasper's behavior, and he stepped forward. How can you act this way toward our king? She gave you an order, he said, reaching out to grab him. Suddenly, time seemed to freeze. Gasper moved from his spot, heading toward a box on the other side of the room, unaware of the hybrid watching him closely. As time resumed, everyone noticed that Gasper had vanished, leaving Jin grasping at air. Such power to freeze everyone in place, Issei remarked. Where did he go? Everyone asked, scanning the room. He's hiding in that box over there, Issei pointed out. The box shifted as Gasper realized his hiding spot had been discovered. Weren't you frozen too, Issei? Aquino questioned. No, it seems I was unaffected, probably due to my immense power, he replied, reminding everyone of his status as a dragon god. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just can't control it and I was scared. Please don't be angry. Gasper cried from the box. This is the power of his sacred gear, the ability to stop time, Rias explained to Issei and her peerage members who hadn't met him yet, including Jean, Rox, Asia, and Zenobia. This is Gasper Vladi, a first-year student, my bishop, half human and half vampire, with the sacred gear Forbidden Baylor View. Before I reincarnated him as my bishop, he was a member of the Damfer clan. Everyone was speechless, except for Issei, who was the first to break the silence. Did you say his sacred gear can stop time? Rox asked, astonished. Yes, Aquino confirmed simply. Isn't that against the rules? Rox questioned. Yes, but all sacred gears break the rules, especially a Longinus like mine and the White Dragon Emperors. The meaning of balance breaker is to disrupt the balance and overturn the rules placed upon them, Issei explained, lecturing his senior. Everyone was stunned and quickly understood what he meant. That's one powerful servant you have there. If he can control his sacred gear, your team will be formidable, Issei told Rias. Yes, and that's where you come in. Issei, could you please speak to him for me? Rias pleaded. I know I have a lot to learn and I'm not as strong as you. Please help me get him outside. Okay then, I'll help, Issei replied as he turned to face the vampire. Let's go outside, you're a daywalker, so we'll talk out there. Issei intended to take him outside for a chat and some training before his meeting in 2 hours, but Aquino informed Rias that Issei also needed to write a report on the meeting he was scheduled to attend. Both of his seniors were there with him under orders from Surzex for the meeting, and Kiba needed to see Ajuka Beelzebub about his sword again, leaving the rest of Rias's peerage to deal with the reclusive vampire. Kaneko had managed to lure him out of the old-school building using garlic. Now they were at the back of the building, watching Zenobia chase Gasper with her Durandal. Everyone was unsure how to train him, and Jean suggested they do stamina training. When Zenobia heard that, she brandished her Durandal and began chasing him. Gasper tried to hide behind a tree, but Kaneko came up from behind and chased him with more garlic. Hey, what are you guys doing? Issei called out as he rounded the corner of the building, wearing gloves and holding a small gardening shovel. Why are you picking on a defenseless girl? He asked, rushing to Gasper's defense. Gasper seized the opportunity and hid behind Saji, thanking him for rescuing him. Saji smiled with stars in his eyes, thinking he had just saved a damsel in distress, but his world shattered with the next few words. Saji, we were just training Rias's other bishop, and that's not a girl, that's a boy, Rox told him. What? Was all Saji could manage as dread washed over his face. Did we interrupt your fantasy of saving a female junior? By the look on your face, you must have imagined that after you saved her, she'd reward you, Jean teased. But like Rox said, that's a boy hiding behind you, Asia added, delivering the final blow. She didn't mean to hurt him, She was just being honest. Saji looked at the figure hiding behind him with a strained smile. Say, they're lying, right? You're a young girl, right? Saji asked, fearing the answer. Gasper looked up at him, tears from his earlier training with Zenobia almost wiped away, and answered innocently, Yes, I'm a boy, I just like to dress like this. Saji fell to all fours, cursing the unfairness of the world. The only one to comfort him was Kaneko, who came over and patted him on the back. Saji thought he had found someone to help him feel better, but her words stung even more. They're pervert, Kaneko said as she patted his back. Everyone laughed at Saji's expense. After an hour, both Issei and Rias's peerage stood outside Gasper's room. Gasper had refused to leave, saying he didn't want to train anymore and didn't want to meet people after being saved by Saji moments ago. Issei asked everyone to leave so he could talk to Gasper one-on-one. At first, Rais hesitated, but after some persuasion she left, trusting Gasper to Issei's care. Issei sat next to the door and began speaking to Gasper. Gasper, Rais told me about your past. She mentioned that you were bullied by your own kind because of your sacred gear. I can't say I fully understand what you went through, but I know I might have faced similar treatment or worse if my parents had taken me out. As you may know, I am a dragon god, Issei said through the door. He sensed Gasper moving closer and continued. I grew up mostly with my father. You may not know it, but I lived in the dimensional gap. My mother died before I got to know her. Issei noticed the door opened slightly for Gasper to peek out. But I'm not strong like you. I can only stop time and scare everyone around me. They all hate me. I don't want to hurt my friends or comrades. I can't bear to see the faces of the people I care about when they are frozen, Gasper confessed in a low voice, almost in tears. I wasn't always strong. It was my father who trained me. Did you hear about the arranged marriage between Rais and Riser? Issei asked. Yes, I saw the match and how easily you defeated him. Gasper answered. Yes, but you know if I hadn't been around, Rais might have lost. From what she told me about Devil Society, if she had lost, Riser could have commanded her peerage as he liked. He could have forced you to do something against your will, and if you refused, he could label you as a stray. I fought for her because she had a dream, and I have a dream for myself as well. I believe everyone should have a chance to make their dreams a reality. Issei waited to see if Gasper would respond. Gasper, do you have a dream? Issei asked the vampire. Gasper opened the door wider so Issei could see him fully. I want to be stronger to help Bucho. She saved me, Gasper replied. Then let me help you. That way, you can be strong enough to control your sacred gear. You know I have the boosted gear. If I don't train myself to control it, I could lose control and endanger everyone around me, including myself. I don't want that to happen. Aren't you scared of the dragon? No, not at all. I can help myself because I am also a dragon, so that will never happen to me. That's why I'll help you, so you can assist Rais with her dream. Senpai, you're kind. Call me Issei, everyone does. Issei, do you want to come inside? Gasper opened the door wider for Issei to enter his room. Inside, Issei sat on the floor while Gasper perched in a box. They chatted about various topics for nearly an hour, mostly sharing investment tips they had discovered and discussing Issei's training with Great Red. During their time together, Kiba entered the room, prompting Gasper to close the lid on his box while Issei greeted him. Ah, Kiba, what brings you down here? Issei asked. Well, Bucho didn't want to interrupt the male bonding, so I decided to let you know that everyone will arrive soon, Kiba replied. Oh, I was just telling him about my training, Issei said. Gasper peeked out of his box as Kiba sat next to Issei. I would like to hear how you survived against the true Red Dragon God, Kiba said. Well, when I first transformed into a dragon, he wanted to see if I was immune to fire, so he dropped me into an active volcano, Issei explained. Kiba and Gasper were left speechless as they absorbed what Issei had endured during his training, nearly losing his life a couple of times because Great Red believed he was strong enough to handle the challenges he faced. It was time to leave, and Issei went to the bathroom to prepare a magic spell on his clothes. When the light faded away, Issei emerged wearing what appeared to be ceremonial clothing and armor, similar to what the leaders from the three factions would wear. His outfit was crimson with black and gold accents. His shoes were replaced with well-fitted sabatons and greaves, and his school uniform was swapped for black pants that allowed for easy movement, along with a white fitted shirt. Over the shirt was a breastplate featuring his insignia in the center, with a white dragon head that stood out against the crimson. He also wore vambraces on his arms, 2 pauldrons on each shoulder, and a cape that barely touched the floor, also adorned with his insignia. Everyone was already in the meeting room with the other devils, and Issei's guess was correct. He could sense fallen angels and angels present as well. In the school conference room, Issei looked around and noted the seating arrangements. Surzex was seated next to Seraphol, with Graphia standing behind them. Next to the Satans were Sona and Rais, with their respective peerages sitting behind them. On the opposite side of the table sat Archangel Michael, with a 4-winged angel standing behind him, and further down the table was Azazel. The leaders all wore regal clothing or robes for the occasion, and they stared at Issei with curious expressions until Seraphol broke the silence. "Issei, what are you wearing?" "I am the prince of all dragons after all, so I am wearing this." Everyone immediately understood what he meant. "It looks good on you. I suggest you wear that at more formal settings in the future," Surzex added. "Thanks, Surzex Lucifer," Issei replied as he took his seat in front of the 3 faction leaders. "Now then, let's commence with the meeting." "Issei, thank you for agreeing to meet with us," Lord Surzex said as everyone nodded in agreement to begin. "Now then, the attack on our previous meeting was caused by Valley Lucifer and his magician army that attacked us here," Surzex explained. "Yeah, sorry about Valley causing trouble," Azazel said nonchalantly. His 3 new allies weren't the only ones glaring at him. Everyone else looked at him with mistrust, except for Issei, who spoke up. "Please, everyone, don't look down on Azazel. As much as Valley was his subordinate, he was mine as well." Azazel raised an eyebrow at Issei's defense. Everyone wondered how Issei and Valley had met until Rais spoke up. "Issei, may I ask you a question regarding what you said?" "Yes, please do, Rais Gremory," Issei replied as Surzex nodded for her to continue. "How did Valley Lucifer become your subordinate if he was working for the fallen angels?" Issei answered. "Orphis recruited him because he kept talking about fighting powerful people. He even challenged me, but my father put him in the hospital for over a week. Either way, it's not Azazel's fault. In this world, everyone has the ability to choose their own paths, so if that's Valley's decision, then so be it. It's his life after all." Issei's words relieved some tension in the room. Surzex tried to find the right words to ease the situation further, but Azazel stopped him with a hand gesture, indicating it wasn't necessary. "Does anyone want to know why Great Red is only acting now?" Everyone raised an eyebrow, waiting for an answer, clearly unaware of the reason. "Rizavim Levon Lucifer wants to release a being that is on par with my father to defeat us and also destroy the world to build a new one." Everyone was shocked by this revelation, their mouths agape. Michael was the first to recover from the presence of a being on par with the Apocalypse Dragon. "Who in the world can fight someone as powerful as your father, and where is this being?" Issei laughed at what the angel said as everyone looked at him, expecting an answer until he stood up. "Please, Michael, I apologize. It's just that this being is currently sealed, thanks to someone everyone here should be grateful to. Otherwise, this world would have faced destruction, and everyone here would have perished. Can any of you guess who sealed it?" No one answered. Issei approached Michael and bowed, surprising everyone in the room. "Michael, your father is perhaps the greatest god to have ever lived, but unfortunately he died sealing the beast." Everyone was shocked, their eyes wide, but Issei continued. "Yes, he saved you all from certain doom. He died protecting all of you. He even set aside his pride to save everyone, despite being enemies with devils and fallen angels." Surzex was the first to recover. "Issei, how do you know this? Is all this true?" "Yes, Great Red witnessed him sealing the beast away, but in exchange, the biblical god lost all his divine powers and died during the Great War, though not in the war itself." Issei returned to his seat as he spoke. Everyone felt a deep sadness for what God had done, despite most being enemies with him. Issei, Zenobia, and Irina were in tears. Then, Zenobia spoke up, anger directed at Issei. Then why didn't your father fight the beast? I thought all dragon gods were the most powerful beings. So why Issei Hayadu, son of the apocalypse dragon? You're not seeing the bigger picture. Had my father fought the beast, by the way, it's called the Trihexa 666, the whole universe would have been their battlefield. Think of the losses that could have resulted from a fight between two such beings. It simply wasn't worth it. Everyone understood his point as Surzek spoke. What is the group name that your Khaos Brigade is fighting against? The Hero faction, all descendants of previous heroes, and the Clippeth faction, which is controlled by Vala's grandfather and has powerful foes that could rival any faction. I don't know which gods are with them yet, but I suspect Vala doesn't realize that Rizavim is their leader, as my report indicated otherwise. I was concerned for Vala still. Azazel then spoke. From the start he was a guy who sought only power. If you look at the results, it's possible to understand and say it's my responsibility that I didn't stop it from happening. Azazel's tone was very somber. Now then, I am returning to heaven at once to work on a plan for peace and countermeasures against these factions. Don't worry, you have the backing of the Dragon God faction. The others went to speak to the other leaders and alert them about the same things I mentioned, Issei assured everyone. Surzek's Lucifer, please don't feel so responsible. As for me, I am just glad that the three great powers are walking the path to peace together, you know? With this, unnecessary quarrels should also decrease, Issei told him. Azazel made a sarcastic smile and said, that is inevitable. We've been at odds for a long time. However, things should change even if just a little from now on. The problem is the Hero faction and Clippeth, which we can't assume are good, as Issei said. Then let's cooperate and discuss that matter from now on, Issei suggested. Zizo, Michael, and Surzex nodded in agreement. Then I'll return to heaven at once. I'll come back immediately, and we will conclude the formal peace agreement at that time, Michael said. Michael? What is it, Issei Hayadu? There's just one thing I'd like to ask of you. Very well. There was a wish I wanted to be granted at any cost. Everyone looked at Issei. It's because of the system that Asia and Zenobia receive damage when they pray to God, right? The two of them were former believers. Sometimes, they would pray out of habit, and they would receive damage. Zenobia and Asia were shocked that he knew this, along with the rest of the peerage. If devils or fallen angels prayed to God, the system activates and inflicts light damage. This happens regardless of the presence of gods. It operates naturally. What about it? Can you make it so that there is no damage when only Asia and Zenobia are praying? That was my wish. I had always watched them force smiles, but they wanted to pray normally. They are devils, but I believe they should be free to have something they believe in, just as I asked last time. Hearing my wish, Michael showed a surprised expression. Was my request strange? Well, it's the same as before, but now I am a dragon god, so it still feels unusual. Asia and Zenobia, sitting to my left, were also surprised, along with the rest of the peerage. However, Michael gave a small laugh and nodded in agreement. It was summer, and high school life was rushing into the summer holidays. Okay then, everyone, we will hear from you soon, Issei said as he waved goodbye to everyone. The next day at the Occult Research Club, Issei was present since it was a school day. And so, from today on, I will be the advisor of this Occult Research Club. Please call me Azazel-sensei, or Governor is fine too. Azazel, wearing a worn-out suit, stood in the clubroom. Why are you here? Rais asked, perplexed and a bit angry. I was requested to take this position by Seraphal's little sister. Well, it's because I am a super cool guy. I even score with schoolgirls. Azazel said, causing Issei to smile as he remembered their past memories together. That's forbidden. Or rather, why would Sona do such a thing? Rais said, blushing as she looked at the calm Issei. You're so stubborn, Rais Gremory. I was told by Seraphal's sister that this was requested by Surzex. That's why she asked me, Azazel explained. You were requested as an advisor for this? The president's intentions can't be understood. Rais exclaimed. The condition for me staying at this school is that I help the immature sacred gears possessed by the devils of the Gremory family grow. My knowledge as a sacred gear enthusiast is useful, after all. You all heard about the organization Issei mentioned yesterday, called the Qliphoth faction. As a future deterrent against them, Issei is already famous for being a dragon god, and your family has grown close to him. From the information I gathered about Vale, I know he has his own team, which we are temporarily calling the Hakuryuku team. Several people are gathering around those identified at present, Vale and Son Goku from your organization, as they are considered traitors to you, Issei. Thanks for letting me know about this, Azazel-sensei, Issei replied. Jean then spoke up. So, are Vale and his team going to attack us again? Jean asked. The governor shook his head in response. They won't attack here again. It was a rare opportunity for an assassination attempt on the leaders of the three great powers at the conference, but that also failed. Their current opponents are Heaven and the Underworld. In the Underworld, all the fallen angels under my command have united with the devils. The Underworld won't fall easily. The seraphs in Heaven also won't remain silent. Additionally, there are powerful sacred beasts and demonic beasts in Heaven, along with many other factions. So it's a war? Jean inquired. No, it's still at the skirmish level. You could say both they and we are in a preparatory PRD. Don't worry, something like a full-scale war won't occur until you all graduate from university, let alone this school's high school division. Enjoy your school life fully. However, it is the long-awaited preparatory PRD, so you'll be doing various preparations, right? If, for example, we were attacked again, can't we do something with Gasper's time-stopping ability? Jean asked Azazel. Senpai, what are you saying? Gasper exclaimed, reacting strongly to Jin's suggestion. It's not worth considering if he's alone. We don't know what kind of opponents are in the Qliphoth. Gasper took refuge in his cardboard box while feeling overwhelmed. Hey, you need to graduate from the cardboard box. That's right, holy demonic sword kid. How long can you fight in Balance Breaker? Kiba responded to Azazel's question. Currently, 1 hour is my limit. That's not good. At the very least, you need to ensure that you can continue using it for 3 days. Kiba's expression became more determined with those words. And what about you, Issei? 6 months. The governor's eyes widened as everyone was shocked by my response, but it was the truth. You certainly surpass Vale. He can maintain Balance Breaker for 1 month. That's the difference between you two. You are very powerful, Issei. Issei nodded in acknowledgement. Next, Azazel's gaze turned toward Aquino. Do you still harbor resentment toward us, Barakiel? He asked, referring to Aquino's father. It brought back memories of him. Seeing that Aquino's father is Azazel's subordinate, Aquino responded with a stern expression. I have no intention of forgiving him. It's his fault that my mother died. Aquino, when you fell to being a devil, he said nothing. Naturally. He isn't in a position to say anything to me. That's not what I meant. No, it might be thoughtless of me to intrude on the relationship between you and your parent. Azazel said, I don't consider him my father. Aquino declared firmly. I see. But I don't think it's bad that you joined the Gremory family. If things were different, I wonder what Barakiel would think. Aquino did not respond to Azazel's words. She simply showed a complicated expression. Then, Azazel's gaze shifted to Jean, Rox, and Kaneko, who were discussing their own improvements like the others. Next few days later, I found myself in bed early in the morning. To my right lay Rais, breathing peacefully in her sleep. It was a serene moment, unlike the last time when the other girls were all over me. There was no situation as wonderful as this, just me and Rais. This unexpected blessing felt more than I deserved, but then I noticed something moving beneath the light cotton blanket. I had just woken up and felt a sense of discomfort, but the sensation under the blanket was surprisingly soft and smooth. Suddenly, a beautiful girl with long black hair emerged from the blanket. Aquino. Just like before, she was the vice president of the occult research club I used to belong to, and a third-year student. Her hair, usually tied back in a ponytail, cascaded down her shoulders, adding to her allure. Recently, it had been decided that all members of the Occult Research Club would be living with me, as Sirzex Lucifer had requested, and I had agreed. He was concerned for their safety due to potential threats, so he had remodeled the house. This time, I was in charge, not Rais. Aquino was wearing a thin yukata, and she snuggled closer to me, creating an NTMT space between us. The warmth of her body was undeniable, and I couldn't help but feel my heart race. Just like before, we had gone on a date, and I had promised Rais that I would take her out as well. As Aquino leaned her face closer to my neck, she paused and then wrapped her arms around me tightly. The sweet scent of her hair filled the air, making me feel lightheaded. She truly was beautiful, just like Rais. Then, unexpectedly, I felt a gentle kiss on my neck. Aquino clung to me, and my mind was racing. The sensations were overwhelming. Our legs intertwined, and I could feel the softness of her thighs against mine. Our fingers intertwined as well, creating a connection that felt like something out of a romantic drama. Aquino's delicate fingers traced over my body, sending shivers down my spine. Issei, your body is quite sturdy, thanks to your time with Rais. I wanted to play with you, she teased, her breath warm against my ear. Does my presence feel nice? Yes. Aquino, you feel amazing, I replied, feeling a rush of excitement as I held her waist. I'm glad to hear that. You can enjoy this even more if you'd like. But with a certain crimson-haired girl sleeping next to us, we might have to be careful. Still, this moment is thrilling, Aquino said, her playful demeanor making me smile. I had missed this side of her. Aquino leaned over me slightly, her hair falling around us like a curtain. Just as our lips were about to meet, Rais's voice broke through the moment. Aquino, what are you doing? When did you get into this room? Rais asked, her tone sharp and filled with irritation. I cautiously turned my eyes to the side, seeing Rais glaring at us with half-closed eyes. She looked intimidating. Aquino turned to Rais, raising our intertwined hands. This is just a little morning affection. I thought I would enjoy a nice morning with my adorable Issei. After all, being alone in bed is lonely. Rais's eyebrows shot up at Aquino's words, and I could sense the tension rising. Since when did you become Issei's master? Aquino shot back, realizing the implications of her words. I quickly covered my mouth, trying to suppress a laugh at the unfolding drama. Even if I am not his master, I am his senpai. It's a senpai's duty to be affectionate with their junior, right? Rais slowly brought her face closer to Aquino. Once her face was near, Rais spoke in a voice filled with frustration. I see, so that's your reasoning. This room is almost a sanctuary for me again, with Aquino and Rais about to clash just like last time. It's my only absolute healing place. I can't have others intrude here. This is my and Issei's room, Rais declared to Aquino. When did my room become Rais's room? Everything is happening faster than I expected after being in the past. Aquino smiled slightly at her president's words. Era. The girlfriend has a strong desire to monopolize, doesn't she? Are you perhaps afraid of me stealing him away? Aquino teased, causing Rais to blush at the mention of being Issei's girlfriend. Looks like I need to discuss this with you once more, Rais said, her body enveloped in a crimson aura. Is she preparing for a showdown? Era, you're releasing quite an aggressive aura for a discussion, aren't you? Aquino smiled, also enveloping herself in a pale gold aura. Now she was ready too. It's a discussion. To the bitter end, Rais stated firmly. Rais and Aquino glared at each other, sparks flying around them. So, a battle between these two was starting right away in the morning? I guess the cause is me? I felt a mix of happiness and fear. If these usually gentle people glared at each other with such fierce expressions, I might just curl up. Suddenly, I heard a flurry of sounds. A pillow fight between Rais and Aquino had begun. What are you two doing so early in the morning? I asked both of them. To begin with, I disliked how Aquino immediately tried to touch my important things. Rais threw a pillow with force, hitting Aquino right in the face. Even after the pillow fell, Aquino still had a smile on her face though her eyes were wide open. It should be fine if it's just for a bit. You really are stingy, Rais. Aquino retorted, picking up the fallen pillow and hitting Rais right back. A direct hit. Rais brushed the pillow away from her face, her eyes a bit misty. This house was just renovated, so I won't let you do as you please, Aquino. Finally, she threw aside her elegant demeanor and tossed the pillow again with the voice and face of a girl her age. Aquino dodged the pillow and then threw my own pillow at Rais. Surzex Lucifer said that we should live together and get along. Aquino exclaimed. This is my and Issei's house. Both you and my brother are in the way of me and Issei. I can't stand it anymore. Those words made me extremely happy, Rais. Tears of emotion filled my eyes. I felt more blessed than I deserved as her former boyfriend, given that I was in the past and she still loved me. But those words just now are all the selfishness of a jealous girlfriend, aren't they? You intend to ignore Surzex Lucifer's wishes? So you value Issei more than the Mao? Lend me Issei for a bit as well. Aquino asked. No. Absolutely not. Rais replied. The two seniors were having a quarrel fitting for girls their age. Since we started living together, I had gotten to see Rais and Aquino's true faces again. The two great ladies who exuded a noble atmosphere were admired by everyone, including me. However, in reality, they were ordinary girls who also showed faces appropriate for their age. I wasn't particularly shocked by that. Rather, I was happy. The noble side of them was good, but seeing them act like regular girls was also cute. I think I still love them like this even after going back in time. Then, I felt doubts about some details of their quarrel. The house was just renovated? Now that I think about it, the bed looked excessively big. There was plenty of space left on the bed even with Rais and Aquino having a pillow fight. My bed was huge. So big that there was still enough space even with 4 people on it. There was even a canopy. As I looked around the room carefully, I realized that it was more spacious than before. It was this spacious? Even though my room was only 8 tatami mats, it was bigger than before. The television had also changed from a small cathode ray tube type to a huge new model flat-screen TV. There were even all the latest kinds of game consoles. Things I could have bought with my money but never had the time or part-time earnings for were now in my room. I quickly left my room. Strange. It was just my normal house until last night, but as I looked around, the corridor was twice as spacious as before. There were also staircases leading both up and down. My house, which was a 2-story building, was only supposed to have 2 floors. Now there was a 3rd floor. When I peeked at the staircase, it looked like the levels didn't stop at a 3rd floor. When I ran down the stairs, an incredibly spacious entry hall appeared before me. Everything was just the same as before, and I was so happy about the house returning to its massive size. Now that I think about it, I could have asked Great Red to renovate it before Surzex did, but it's the same as before. My house, in addition to having more than twice the plot area, had become a 6-story building. Thank you, Lord Surzex Lucifer. This is truly the best thing that has happened this week. My voice rang out, filling the neighborhood with excitement. I couldn't help but recall that I had experienced this joy before.